everybody. Just wanted to say we have Steve Carpenter filling in for Ron Brown, who is down with the coronavirus. I mean, the flu. I know. Hopefully, we'll figure out something about that. I mean, I know it's not a good thing to joke about because everybody's coughing and flu bugs going around this time. Yeah. And also, another big news, we've already heard that DJI is shut down as a result of the virus. So I guess we can say DJI has the coronavirus.
And Autel Robotics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So,
they've shut down.
Well, I guess that's a good thing since I went ahead and finalized my Skydio order. So, actually, get this. I knew. Here was what happened. So I'm sending emails back and forth to Dana. Everybody knows about Dana. You can hear pretty much in any email that goes to support is now Dana. So anyway, so I'm going back and forth, and they're like, well, yeah, I can see your pending order. And I'm just like, but do you understand the frustration and everything? And okay. And sure enough, I'm driving to Seattle to get on the plane, and I get an email. Right when I'm getting ready to get on the plane and go into airplane mode.
Yeah, you have 10 days.
Yeah, so I just was like, well, fine. I'll just wait, and I will go ahead and finalize it when I get home. So I get home, and my wife's just kind of looking at me. She's like, look. She's like, you got all these drones so that you can get on YouTube and show them off. She goes, I love your hobby. I love your pictures. She goes, but stop just flying in the backyard. You know, go a few places, do a few things. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I've set it in my mind. I've already talked to Marcus about it, and I can see that Curtis is on the road. I'm gonna start calling people's names out here in just a second. I can see Curtis is on the road, but me, Marcus, and if Curtis wants to go with us too, and if anybody else can get up here and wants to go over there, we're going to go hook up with Kyle Warner, the guy that rides the bike and was doing all those videos for Skydio, over there while he's in between races maybe, and hang out and fly some Skydios and other drones and stuff with him and kind of have a mini hookup with, because now Kyle is kind of big in the bike circuit because he's like, been a champion like 2 or 3 different times. He won like his first championship when he was like 19, I think. I mean, he's pretty, and he's actually being sponsored to run a full season again this year. So it's going to be kind of hard to catch up with him. So I'm going to go jump into the chat real quick. I can see a bunch of people are in here, and I can see Spider Hank. Frank is in the house. Courtney's in the house. Mermaid off duty. Yes, that's right, folks. Happy Lux. Thank you. Glad to have you here. Anybody that hasn't checked out Happy's channel, go check out Happy's channel. See what you think about it. Come back and give us a heads up. Go subscribe. We got Steve Carpenter saying hi to Hank. Hi to Spider Hank. And he's one of my friends I met through Hit Film. He has he has a unique software and texturing and stuff like that. Okay, I don't want to do this. I gotta keep going. Curtis is driving. Be safe, Curtis, but listen to us on the road. AZ, that was the gentleman that hooked me up with my individual cases for my Mavic Mini, for it and my controller, so it would fit in my bag. So I didn't have any trouble going through inspections, TSA. I just blew through everything. So thank you very much again for showing me that. Metro Drones, glad to have you in the house. Canadian Drone Hub is always great. Glad to have, I know Roger's here somewhere. I saw him a minute ago. I'm just trying to catch up with all these names. Brian's in the house. Tommy Polo, hello. Glad to see you, Brian. Steve Carpenter saying hello. Is Cuppi any better? Actually, I think John is out on the road with his lady friend tonight. They're celebrating her birthday. I know he's kind of been under the weather for a while, but he was kind of on the mends last time I spoke with him. Excuse me. And there's right there saying Builder 710 and Jay Santiago. Jay, as I was telling the gentleman before we went on the air, I finalized my Skydio order. So I'll have a Skydio 2 in the near future. Paul, glad to see you, sir. Thank you for coming in this evening. Okay, now I've kind of caught everything up. Gentlemen, do you have any subjects you would like to talk about while I kind of get my stuff in the background going on?
I do. I
Okay.
got the same email. Skydio order came through.
Did you?
And I'm
Very nice.
doing it as a favor to somebody. Most all of you know him, Sean Oz. I met him at Spin Up, but
Right.
I've been talking with him off and online, and I offered him, going, I'm not a creator. I'm not out there publishing and stuff. And I know Sean is a big snowboarder.
Mhm.
And I know for the winter season, he was talking about wanting to have it. So I forwarded him the order, and the order was confirmed this morning, and he'll get it before, which is going to be really cool. Kelly Shore and Ed Ricker are both coming up to meet him to go skiing, and he's going to take him traveling around. So they'll have a Skydio with the three of those guys up there being able to have a good time together.
Where are they going skiing at?
Nice.
Well, he lives right there next. Well, he's in Colorado, so skiing is
yeah.
there, but he's over by Keystone where he skis.
Oh, very, very cool. And okay, Tommy, didn't you have some news that you said that you were wanting to share, that you had dived into the pool with everybody else?
I did. I couldn't help it. I was looking and messing around and talking with the wife and everything, and it was like, you know what, I kind of, when I got my Phantom 4 Pro is the version 2 is like my camera bird. It's the only one. But when I bought that, was going to pull the trigger on the Autel Evo, and then I wanted to get kind of commercial with it, and I know that the Phantom would hold up better commercially and this kind of thing. But now the Evo 2 is out, and I've been looking at those. So this morning, I kind of ended up pulling the trigger and pre-ordered the Evo 2 Pro with the rugged bundle through Zach Davis at DroneWorks.com. They're great guys, great customer service, great company. They got all Autel, all DJI. They got all the accessories, anything you need. They're great. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to for this thing to come out. It'd be my first folding drone. I don't have any Mavericks or anything. And
okay, so we were talking earlier and mentioning that maybe DJI had the virus, since they were their operations are shut down for like how long was it? Like 10 days?
Yeah, I think it's at least 10 days. So Autel shut down too.
So, that's
the Evo 2 was supposed to, I think it was supposed to get launched sometime in February, but now it's pushed back into March.
Oh, what? Wait a minute. Okay, something I just looked at drone news that just came up. I got to share this one. This is wait a minute. This is crazy. Because I'm going to share all this stuff that I'm kind of rummaging around on that I see. Now look at this. This is going to blow your mind. Drone scold Chinese residents without mask as coronavirus spread. I'm like, what is it? Or is it just like a speaker on it and people are like screaming, put your mask on?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's see. Is there an actual show?
Look at her laughing.
It's like, boy, I was around long before you ever had a toy drone. Go away. Because I do not eat bat soup.
That's great.
That's crazy, man.
That is great.
Yeah, like I was saying, Jeff Sills was saying that DJI had given the government a whole bunch of the enterprise drones with the speakers on board and said, get back in your house if you don't have a mask on.
Like, Roger, you want to come in?
I mean, hey, that's
Aaron, you want to come in?
thing.
We can bring 2 or 3 more people in. Just let me know.
Right, let's make it a party.
Well, no, I was just the more people that we because I'm gonna go ahead and go to this one then, since everybody's, because I don't want. Here's my thing, and I'm really concerned about it. DJI commented about how bad the proposal was as far as the for the new remote ID thing, right? So that's the thing, okay, and. So they're saying it's terrible, and then the rest of the FAA just kind of blows them off. Okay, so the FPV Freedom Coalition then petitions them to please, extend the comment period so that, because we've got a movement going, and it's starting to pick up steam, and we're getting people to comment, and there's actually some comments on the page, can we have a little more time? No. So no matter how civil we are or know how rowdy we are in the comments, I really and truthfully am beginning to feel like a lot of people are right. It's a done deal. So unless we do something, out there, like, and this is, and Steve was laughing at me.
What are you thinking, Bill? What are you thinking?
Heard me preaching about it, and I was saying, like we've got this is the leap year. So we've got 29 days in February, and the 28th and the 29th are like a Saturday and a Sunday. So if we could get a bunch of channels together, a bunch of channels, like 10 or 15 or 20 channels, willing to do something around the world, to share our dilemma, because it's going to happen in all of them. They're going to end up, big business is going to push all of us out of the skies, no matter what country we are in eventually, unless we figure out a way to stop it here first. Because what I'm thinking is we need to, those last 2 days, is pound the server with, as many small comments, as many big comments, as many comments as we can hit, until possibly, please, maybe, by some strange chance, we crash the server. And we get some kind of media attention that way. Because otherwise, nobody's going to know we're here until it's over with, is what I fear is. And I really think if the only thing is going to be like, if you see something on CNN or CNN or Fox or anything like that, and they go, well, the drone pilots around the world united on the 28th and 29th as they crashed the FAA server with so many comments, they literally shut the server down. Well, why were they so concerned? Why were they so worried? Because their skies are being taken away from them by big business. That's the only way we're going to get attention.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
And being spied on.
Do you all really truthfully think, do you think comments are going to do it?
Yeah, I think, and the other thing is to put out there is we're being spied on, because if that goes up there and that information is up there and they know you're flying, guess what? They know you're not at home.
Yeah.
Because all your personal information is going to be linked to your home address or whatever, unless you got a business and you're using another address. Guess what? Bill Thomas is not at home. Tommy's not at home. They're out there flying. So let's go pay a visit to Tommy's house.
Hey, Art. Hey, Kenny. Good to see you guys. I'm clicking off some more names. And hey, Rogers. And like I said, if I missed what y'all were saying earlier about coming in the car, on the phone. Okay, so Herman can't come in. All right, so let's see. Okay, so what I was going to say, though, is here, I got this email from, everybody got the email from the FAA, right? The one telling you that they need our help for them to, and it tells you here in the email, there's 1.5 million drones and 155,000 remote pilots. And Tommy pointed out to me, registered remote pilots. See, that's the important thing there. And out of those registered remote pilots, how many of them do you actually think are 107 certified? Probably about 4 or 5 grand. Okay, so the big money in drones, and this is what's crazy with, this is what I still can't believe is they literally think what delivery is going to make them money.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
is that what they're thinking? Because the money is in us buying stuff and us being addicted, literally, and as my wife pointed out to me today, was, you need to go out and use this stuff and just quit showing it to your friends in a box on the shelf. If I'm going to get collectibles, then get the pops. Because I've got Mandalorian pops. So that's my other thing. So I'm collecting Mandalorian series pops. So that's what I'm doing. So, but here's my thing. And I've kind of popped this up in Coast to Coast Drones. Everybody's saying that it's going to be a good 3 years before we have to really worry about being kicked out of the skies. So let's make big business worried now by saying boycott drone deliveries right now. Let's start selling shirts. I don't care. Let's sell them for a nickel a piece so that we can get them everywhere. And then put big pictures. Big pictures of Amazon with a big stamp on it. No, with no drone. We'll make it instead of the circle and just the slash, we'll make it the circle and a slash with the drone over it. So no drone delivery. Amazon, no drone deliveries from FedEx, you know, and then we'll sell these shirts everywhere, boycott drone deliveries. So they'll be like, well, wait a minute, how are we going to make money if we're not doing this and we're not, well, we didn't think this through. That's right, you didn't.
No.
Because the money's coming from the consumers. People aren't going to. Here's another thing that's so ridiculous about drone delivery is unless you got some huge Amazon warehouse flying in the sky with pretty much everything known to man in it, you're still going to have some guy in an Amazon truck driving your package from somewhere.
Yeah.
And
in certain houses, you're not going to be able to.
The only thing a drone's going to do is get stuff out in the sticks, I guess, which makes no sense whatsoever.
It's kind of a waste.
But
what you got to look at is you got to separate somehow. Like, I'm all for making a big stink and blowing something out of the water, but you got it. I've said this a couple times now. All the people around that don't have the drones or don't know what it is or against it or they're just ignorant to it. You got to educate them somehow. Like all the delivery stuff, yeah, but that's kind of like, all right, that's going to be a nuisance. Blow that out. But like the good stuff, like the medical and the agricultural and that kind of stuff, we got to somehow, I don't know, we got to somehow differentiate and get people to.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The whole point is we need to keep doing things like this and bringing up points about things like this.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid.
Awareness, and education. That's what we need.
Exactly.
People need to know what's going on.
We can't let it go. And that's why I'm saying right at the end, if there's nothing, if it still looks like we don't have a snowball's chance, and yeah, that's when we need to be talking about a telethon. I mean, can you imagine if we could talk Ken Herron into doing it, getting Ed Ricker to come on and do some crazy stuff, and actually doing it like an old Jerry Lewis, you know, late telethon, man. Save our skies, save our skies. We're gonna get Philly Drone Life in here too. Look at the dynamic range. Look at the dynamic range.
For the love of God.
You know, and it's like the Mavic Mini is such a drone. You know?
Well, have you seen the video that UPS put out about their residential video?
No, sir, I did not.
About the drone that pops out the roof of the truck and and then the truck moves around the corner.
The gal's driving it, going off to make a delivery, and then the drone is taking it to another spot. She pulls up, and the drone comes to the truck and lands in the truck, and then they load the next package in.
Yeah.
It's
a good concept.
Wait. You know what? Come on, guys. So okay,
I'll put a link in the chat. You can see it.
Here, that's cool. Here's the deal. Then we're going to get rid of the UPS drivers. What they're saying. So we're going to have a robotic, a drone truck, and a drone delivery bot.
All autonomously driven, but with Tesla technology.
Which is all well and good, you know, but what are we going to do?
Right? Yeah, we're going to be... they got to think that through. We're not going to be able to order anything. We're all going to be broken out of jobs. We're not going to order nothing.
Well, I'm just saying... Wait, here we go. I got to go. I got to bring it in. How can I bring it in this way? Yeah, I can. Nope, it's not going. I gotta go. How can I do it in here? I know what I'll do. Let me cut this back.
Just put it up on another browser screen, and then just don't share your browser screen.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
I like old guy in a drones comment. I can't wait to see a drone deliver my new refrigerator.
Well, I'm just. See, that's just gonna kill us, man. You know,
you get like 8 of them with steel cables.
That's gonna be terrible. Is we're gonna be watching some kind of sports game, right? Or we're gonna be sitting there and we're gonna be thinking about it. We're gonna be like, "Oh man, I'm hungry, but this game's awesome. I don't want to leave." Doesn't the drone deliver from McDonald's now?
Right.
We're gonna be like, and before we realize it, we're gonna be dinger. Oh yeah, they can draw. Oh man, that's why I don't fly anymore. But anyway, let's just keep her all.
Tree service companies will do good. Yeah, clear path for the landing zone in the front yard there.
Yeah, it'd be good for
Why am I not getting to be
your Teespring T-shirt delivery from your merch.
Why can't I go? It's rather be done, man. Okay, what was it? What was the title of it, Steve?
Oh, you need the link again?
No. Just hang on. Just
just type in UPS drone delivery and it'll come up.
I got you.
It'll come up in a little box. There'll be 3 images.
Oh, so it's like 10 months ago, 23,000 UPS Airlines, right? That's what you want me to get?
I think it was.
No. I see it now. UPS tests residential delivery via drone. There we go. All right, give me a sec. I'll get it done. Whoop, 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 whoop. All righty. La la. What's everybody think? What do y'all think? What are we going to do about Hey, that's my nephew.
Who?
That's my nephew. Wait, hang on. I'll do this. My nephew.
Hi, Bill's nephew.
That's my nephew.
Yeah, hello.
He's in the Philippines.
Bill's nephew.
He's in the Philippines. Thank you.
Well,
Is Mama in the house? Is Mama watching? I don't know. Mama might be watching. But anyway, yeah. But like I was saying earlier, she told me that she loved my hobby, but I needed to get away from the backyard.
Jim,
It gives you reason to go visit Curtis.
When I was hanging with Billy, he was giving me hell all the time. He's like, "You gotta get out of the backyard. At least go fly out over that water." And I'd be like, "Well, man, so, but I got something worked out to do with the Skydio, and I keep rambling here. I'm gonna get this up.
Oh, Jim Boyd nailed it. Apartment thievery will skyrocket.
Oh yeah. That's what Cuppi's always saying. They're going in the big cities. They're gonna be taking them drones down right and left, man. Be like, "What's in that box?" Bam.
Right, yeah.
Oh, they'll just wait.
You just throw a blanket over it.
Yeah, just knock it out of the ground, knock it out of the air right before just follow it all the way until it drops. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. I got that. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, let's go full.
Oh, here we go.
On full and play. Okay, man, come on, guys, get real. In the time it took to do all that, she could have done dropped the box off. Okay, at least that's my opinion.
Now you look at the area where that drone is delivering it. Exactly what you said. Somewhere out in a rural area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole point is what happens if she forgets, man? Oh, wow. It flew across the field, man. That really saved a whole lot of time. Woo.
No, she's making another delivery.
Yeah, I get that, man. Right now she's just watching the drone. She's not doing anything. She's just like, here comes the drone back. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to be that UPS driver. I probably would get a lot done. What happened to all the packages? Oh, I was testing out some new firmware.
Yeah, right.
I was like, well, okay. Let's see. Let me catch up here. Hey, whoa. No, I don't want to go to the next one. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'm in a village, not a city, and UPS has 2 trucks here every day. They would need at least 20 plus drones flying every hour of the day. Well, okay. I lived in a small community in Southwest Virginia called Marion. It's actually, hopefully I can find this here in a minute because I want to share it with you guys. It's only got like 10,000 people in it, but UPS goes to there quite frequently. So I don't know how it would be with a small village or something like that. But and I forgot also, everybody knows This will happen. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. The only other thing, like we were talking about, was that it could possibly, if it was going to do this, then it will eliminate the driver. You'll have a robotic truck and you'll have a robotic drone, and you'll have 3 drones, and you'll have a little bot inside the truck shuffling packages around, loading each drone, and you won't have a need for a driver. You won't have a need for a driver at all. Now, that could be the future as far as that's concerned, but that's probably 40 years away, 50 years away.
If they did have a driver, his name would be George Jetson.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, is that what they're trying to kick us out of the skies right now? Wait a minute. Where is this purported? Oh, where's this gentleman supposed to leave the package in the middle of the yard? Yeah, exactly.
It just chucks it down the chimney.
It'll be like the old guy in the insurance commercials with the dollar bill on the hook.
Yeah. Look at Google Earth. Wherever the blue marker is on your house is where the package goes. Right on your roof.
Yeah. Where's the package? On your roof, man. It's on your roof right there. Because it'd be like, oh, why can't I talk to a human? You're talking to a human, lady. It's on your roof. Roof. Do you understand? Roof. Well, I wanted it at my front door, Well, the drone doesn't understand that. Anyway, sorry, I was a little frantic there. Hey, what's up, Mel? Glad to see you in the house. Chris Hope's here. Glad to see you too. Kenny was saying, what? Our bosses at work even say it will never happen. So why are we getting kicked out of the sky? If your hierarchy at UPS is saying this is ridiculous,
because we're the peasants.
We're
peasants having fun.
Paying the money? Is it Amazon? Does Amazon really think that they're going to make this much money with deliveries?
They think so because they have all the money.
I mean, where is the
buying air now?
The only thing that I can see that could really get people addicted to delivery services is going to be like fast food and pizza and stuff like that. If you don't have to leave your house to fight through the lines and stuff like that, and you can just type in on your phone or on your computer and say, bring me a Big Mac and fries in 15 minutes. And
I got contacted by some weird company. Yeah. I got contacted by some weird company because I was just signed up through, I don't know if it was Drone Base or whatever app, it was something with trying to get jobs or whatever. And it says, look, here's a drone job is available. Blah. It was, whatever it was me downloading a third-party app to send my drone somewhere to pick up coffee and deliver it to somebody else, and then it comes back to me. And it's all trusting their software and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, really. And for another $15 more, you can fly a drone in another country.
Right? There you go.
I couldn't believe it. And I was like, why? Why would I want to fly a drone in another country, man? I like flying. I like having my own hands on my own sticks.
Yeah.
It's kind of a dude thing, I mean, seriously, you have to trust your friends to fly your drones, don't you? You don't just hand your controller over to anybody.
No.
It's true. You especially your more expensive drones, you don't just go, yeah, man, here you go, fly. Not unless you got a lot of money in the bank.
Well, for somebody who doesn't own a drone, it is a novel idea that they can go and fly a drone and pick a location in the world and be able to fly.
Yeah. If you don't own one,
and you can download video and movies too. So if there's something out there that you capture you like, you can keep that footage.
Good point.
I tried it at Spin Up 2 years ago, the first Spin Up, when the gentleman was there from it. He flew in from France, and he had his on a mobile phone, and we're flying drones.
Oh wow. Huh. That's pretty cool. I mean, the technology is amazing that you can do that. It is really neat.
I've been to Shade.
Especially with the almost zero lag time that there is on the way that they've designed the software. That's what's unbelievable.
That's what I was wondering about. Huh. That's pretty cool.
I'm trying. The reason I'm over here looking is I'm trying to find, because I went home. People who aren't aware are tuning into us tonight. I actually went home this past week to Virginia, the place of my birth, Haven't been back in 10 years. And I thought it was kind of cool. I actually have a Mavic Mini that's flown on both coasts.
Nice.
No, right.
Yeah, because it's flown right here when I had the snowstorm like 2 weeks ago. Then I took it all the way to Virginia, and I just flew it in Virginia like 4 days ago. So it was
Very nice.
cool.
So what you're telling us is you flew transcontinent on one battery.
I took the Fly More combo. It was so funny. It was so funny when I'm going through SeaTac. Okay, I'm talking to the TSA guy because it was really cool because apparently when we went through must have been a slow time because we kind of blew right through. And I had done everything. I had prepped everything. That's why I had the little individual cases because I had them flipped open so they could see what it was. But I had forgotten and left the battery back inside of my backpack.
Oh.
So they ran it through once, and they're like, "What is that? What is that? Oh, we're gonna have to run it through again." And I was like, "Oh man, batteries for the drone, isn't it?" He just looked at, and the guy I was talking to left at me. He goes, "Oh, that's the little Mavic Mini." And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, and he looked at it and he says, "Do they look like batteries to you guys? Could be something serious." And they just kind of looked at him really funny, and he goes, "Oh, it's drone, isn't it?" Yeah.
Well,
So
anyway,
it was kind of funny. So they did that stuff, and so, but I didn't really fly anywhere major. I got to take a lot of pictures because I got the new camera. I got the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Ooh,
Sweet.
So I got turned down for an Apple card. So anyway, I'm nice enough to buy the phone, but not nice enough to have the card. Okay. So anyway, I'm trying to find because here we go. Let me do this for you. If I can do this, let's see if I can open it in Chrome. I'm trying to show you all kind of what I did while I was there. Oh, come on. This is so frustrating. Glad to see you. Oh, Proper FPV. Good to see you. Saying Brant. Oh, is a coast to coast. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a coast to coast drone. So then this is actually
there you go.
coast to coast drone now. So that's kind of that's. And thank you for picking up on that. Thank you very much. What I'm trying to do is get to my Chrome so that I can. Oh God. Yeah, flubba. So I'm gonna have to go here. And I'm gonna have to come here and here. No, cancel. This one. That one. No, I did not thought that was this. Oh no, wait a minute. That won't work. I need this is just killing me. There's the one I need. That's the one we're open with. And I was trying to open HEIC files, and I don't think Chrome will open Apple files.
If it's set for it.
I didn't think of that. That's a good point.
That's why I don't use.
Oh no, I've got it set now to the. Let's see. I've got it set now. So, as you can see, my family. This is my daughter Erica. Okay, you can't see that one.
I saw that picture.
And my wife, and then I'm next to my wife. And at the very head of the table is my 91-year-old grandmother, Mary Lou Olinger, and my two uncles, my mom's brothers, and my oldest uncle, Johnny. His wife is the one laughing so hard. That was why I went home. And I hadn't been home also in 10 years. There was, it'd been a long time. Hadn't seen family and friends and stuff. And I hadn't, let's see.
Yeah, you had those all posted up on Facebook.
I didn't post this one. Because I hadn't, it had been a long time, like I said. She finally got to meet my wife. My mom finally got to meet my wife.
Oh, nice.
I hadn't been home in 10 years, and and I was like going to go get plastic flowers, kind of like the ones that you can see that are stuck on her grave. And my wife was like, no, you're going to get fresh flowers. And you're going to spread them on the grave, and don't you dare. And so it was really cool. And so it was, I was very grateful because it'd been the first time in, like I said, it'd been 10 years since I had been back to Virginia. And so it was kind of, especially, and what was so crazy was right when we were sitting in the room with my grandmother, and I'm looking at my phone, and one of my friends from here in Everett says, post something about Kobe, and I'm like, what's this, and so I go Google it, and I was like, it was like somebody took my breath. I was like, whoa, and it was real and it was true, and I was like, this is crazy, and then all this other craziness started again. It's like everything in the air is a drone. Like so suddenly they had to close down the airspace around the wreck because there were drones everywhere. And yes. And I was talking to Jim about this earlier. We were talking in Messenger, Curtis, about that. And yes, that would be fantastic. I'd like to do that once we get back on the regular schedule. This is kind of a weird, kind of special thing tonight. I'm glad that everybody that was available could come in and talk, because I tend to like to talk every week about this situation with the FAA. I love to do the SOS Save Our Skies things because let's see, what was the one I came up with today? Boycott drone deliveries, keep our hobby flying free. Yeah.
Save Our Skies, SOS.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Save Our Skies. Well, no, but what I was saying was that we need to worry the big money man early and say, we're going to boycott drone deliveries and cost you all a lot of money, so you need to go back to making money off of consumer drones. But anyway, so I don't know.
We don't want 2-day Prime or 1 hour Prime. We only want a 1 week Prime.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't know. Let's see if I got this. There was something. Anyway, something that I was liking about when I was playing with the phone also was that it has like a night mode on it. I had seen something that Ken Dono, Original Dobo, had posted on his page, and he was like, "Oh, I'm really digging this night mode," And he'd take a picture, and it had some cool stars and stuff in the background and everything. And I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And I got some actually cool shots from the plane with the phone and everything. I posted a few of them here recently. Something that I was talking to Tommy about. I'm going to go ahead and I'll get mine set up. We were going to try to do something neat. We thought we were going to look. I'm going to look on Marketplace here in Everett. I'm going to search drones, see what we've got for sale, and I'm going to share it with you guys. And the other guys, I'm hoping will do basically the same thing. So we will look and see what's on sale. So we were looking at this earlier. First up, we have a DJI Phantom 2 Vision Plus. Drone is in great condition, comes with everything you need to start. Also, keep it protected. Comes with 4 batteries, some extra braids and stuff. Braids, not blades. So, I was asking the guys earlier, would the batteries still even be active now? Case looks decent. I mean, it's probably about a $60, $70 case. I don't like how it doesn't have any lining in the top. That kind of worries me. Yeah. But $350, and it can be yours on Facebook Marketplace. And we're moving on to the next drone. It is a fold drone for $40. Condition is new. Looks to me like something we could probably get for about $15 shipped to China, and maybe, I don't know. What do y'all think? Can't even tell really how big it is. It looks kind of like a Mavic Air clone, but it could also be like teeny tiny and fit in your hand.
Yeah. The props are looking mighty small. Little brush,
and next up, we have a Spark with remote. Although I don't see the remote. Maybe it'll be in the next picture. There it is. We have a Spark with a battery and a remote for $320. Actually,
For spark, what about?
look at that prop. There's a prop up there at the top left. Looks kind of beat up.
Yeah.
Looks like it might have been wrecked. Used it for a couple of months, then put it away. I just tested it not long ago. Still works well. Huh.
Put it away after bouncing it off the
Mavic
wall.
Mini. What is that? Mavic Mini. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Okay, here's the one I had shared earlier with Dan for $250. A brand new Solo. Supposedly everything is brand new, not even been opened yet. As you can see, the box looks like it's shrink wrapped for $250. My question to Dan when I was talking to him earlier was, is the battery even still active?
No.
No. But $250, wasn't that the cost of the gimbal?
Yeah, there's the gimbal right there. And you got to have like, what is it, a GoPro 4, GoPro 5, just to fly. Okay, next up we have a Mavic 2 Zoom for $850. What? What? It is a Zoom. It's a Zoom. Yeah. Huh. For $850. Doesn't look like it's been wrecked. Doesn't look like it's been crunchy. What do y'all think? It doesn't look like it at all. Oh, it's over a week ago. There's no, well, and that's like 20 miles north of me. Let's see. Very good. Never got crash.
Never got crash.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on. Next, we have an Untitled X-Star Premium with 5 batteries, Tiffin filters, carbon props, and many extras. Only $400. Looks to me like somebody's wanting an Evo 2. Possibly. That shoreline is probably about 16 miles south of me. What all we got here? We got a case that looks like the Alltel hard shell case. Wow. Filters, props, charging, controller. Seems like the basic package, but I don't even know what it's
like everything. But those were good in their time.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Open box, $250. Open box, $200 for a white spark. White spark, $250. Going once, going twice. And we got a DJI Mavic Pro for $775. I don't know about that. I see some filters. What else am I getting for this? That's it? No batteries? Okay, Polar Pro Basic. Okay, GPC case. There you go. There we go. That stepped it up a little bit. All right. Well, I will shut mine down. What do you all gentlemen have anything? Anybody got a share screen on there? Is anybody anyway? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, what do we got to say here? Pass. What's that? Yes, exactly. I get that. We need to desperately. We need to, remember when we were little, there wasn't video games and stuff, man. We were out on our bicycles till dark and our parents were screaming, "Get your ass home now."
Yep.
We were playing softball. We were playing baseball. We were down at the creek fishing. We were camping out with our friends. We were lighting the field next door on fire. Little strange things like that.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And now the thing of it, and I'm guilty of it too. Just like Mel was saying, I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of this. I'm walking right by people, not even seeing what's going on.
Yeah. It is.
So, I'm just as guilty of it. But the thing about it is the more sophisticated this thing gets, the more easily I get sucked into it. Because it does. I mean,
everybody does, though.
I mean, I had an Atari 400 computer. If anybody knows, that tells you how old I am. I had an Atari 400 computer. I had an Atari. I had like the first Atari 2600 video game. I had a Pong, man, for goodness sake. You know, in television, all that crazy stuff. Sega, what was it? Sega Genesis and
the Master System.
You know, all that stuff. You know, way back. And now it's the graphics on this thing are 10 times better than anything back then. You know, I stayed and I literally when I got my Atari. The guy, my friend that lived up the street from me, he's a really good friend. As soon as I got my Atari, I had like 6 cartridges. We literally stayed in my bedroom from Christmas morning until it was 3 days later when he finally went home. And they basically opened the door and threw a bag of McDonald's food at us and walked away. And then that's what started it. That's exactly what started it. Okay, Curtis. Since we're bringing this up right now, was it on Facebook? Did I not bring it up? Sorry, my friend. I am selling my Phantom 4 Pro, 4 batteries, Polar Pro backpack, ND filters, extra prop, Polar Pro gimbal lock, $800.
Wow.
Well,
ain't bad.
Good price.
I'd like to have a version 2, but you know, I would really like to have a version 2.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, the thing about it is I got the Phantom 4 Pro. It's still got that 1-inch mechanical sensor, which means it's still bad to the bone, man. I mean, because don't get me wrong, the Mavic 2 is awesome, but it doesn't have a mechanical shutter. So I mean, just for that sheer fact, you know, it's always going to be just a little bit better, you know. And so I don't know what to say. Oh, something that I noticed the other day, and I don't know if it came with the new firmware update. People just didn't see it or something. Everybody was talking about how we had just the limited control on the Mavic Mini, and then now, you know, and Ron was saying something about tricking it around, but now we've got ISO control and something else I was trying to remember. We got 2 manual controls now over ISO, and I'm trying to remember if it was shutter speed maybe. And it's actually, you can actually switch now between auto and manual, and there's actually that much more control in the Mavic Mini.
Just like the Pro.
Yeah, and I was stunned because I was like, everybody was saying, no, you can't do anything with it. And I was like, well, maybe it just came in the other day because I was playing with it in Virginia, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't think we could do this. And I was like, you know, changing the ISO and watching it, you know, go whited out and going totally dark. And I was like, well, okay, so we got a lot more control than I realized we had. So that's what I kind of figured. I figured they would open this little bird up the more the time went on.
Yeah.
I got a, you know, and now they're saying, you know, here's the thing we got to start thinking about. Who has a Mavic Air they want to sell now before the Mavic Air 2 comes out, which is supposedly, and I don't know how they're going to stuff it in there, is going to have OcuSync 2.0.
How in the world are they going to do that?
That's what I'm trying to say. How are they going to cram that in there? Oh, that's something I wanted to ask you, Curtis. Did you fly FPV today, or did you fly camera drones?
Yeah.
Did you get practice in?
Cinewhoop is.
Oh no,
Cinewhoops are badass. They're neat.
We're unable to. Oh God, what's going on? Just, I got a feeling I know what's going on. Let me say something real quick. I'm checking. Everybody has their ring cam. Let's check it. Everybody, check your ring cams now. Yeah. Well, see, okay, I live at the end of a cul-de-sac, right? And so I went on with the city for like a year because, you know, anybody, like I've been on the Canadian drone hubs a couple times when like my wife's been out and doing stuff, and I have to take care of downstairs, which we have 6 clients that we have to take care of. Plus I have a special needs daughter too. So I was like, hey Roger, what's going on? What's going on? And then I take off because there's something big going on. And then I come running back in and be like, hey Roger, what's going on? And I take off again. Okay, well, in order we have a paratransit bus that will come down the cul-de-sac and kind of circle around the cul-de-sac in order to pick up the clients and move on. Well, our road is so narrow that when vehicles park on both sides, you basically just have one lane of traffic. So the cul-de-sac has to stay clear or people get trapped. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have people that for a year before this would park perpendicular in the cul-de-sac, therefore negating the whole cul-de-sac thing. You because they're cutting off half of it by sticking their ass of their car out in the middle of the cul-de-sac. Okay, so I went round and round with the city, and the city's like, well, we have a parking enforcement officer. And I said, okay, so if these people repeatedly do it, you need to ticket them. And then when they do it 2 or 3 times, you need to, and they're like, well, what do you want us to do? Impound their car? And I said, yes, I do. So that they understand that they're not supposed to do it. I was like, you can only smack their little hands so many times before they just go,
Yeah.
Well, you know what? How close is your fire department to you?
What do you mean?
You call the fire department up because they're blocking access for the trucks, and they'll come over and they'll write a citation just like a police officer will.
The thing about it is they've been out here before because they sub also as the emergency response people, okay, and they just kind of shove things out of the way and don't really say anything. But the paratransit drivers have to try to negotiate. They'll have to pull straight up to the house and then try to back around, sometimes going into people's driveways in order to turn around, which we know is illegal in the first place. And, and I'm just like, look, what is the deal here? Are they so insignificant that, and they'll tell me that. So finally they came up to and said, okay, yes, it's completely illegal because, and I even pointed out to them, there's an actual statute that says you cannot park nose to curb or tail to curb anywhere in the city unless it's posted by a sign. Okay. So, and I said, and the whole point is if we let them do this, then there's no way for people to turn around safely because they're going to have to pull in and back around and back around and back around. And they're trying to tell me the police officers are like, well, I don't see that it's impeding the flow of traffic. I said, the second you have to put it in reverse, it's impeded the flow of traffic. I said, and any judge will see it the same way. I said, don't try to tell me that it's not impeding traffic. So I went round and round. And now the city has said, oh, we've talked to the city's engineers and they agree with you. Your points are completely valid. They make complete sense because we need to stop this before an accident happens. We're going to put up signs saying no parking. Well, in the meantime, they still haven't fixed the fact that people are still just parking the same damn way. And I'm like, this has been, and what thing about it is I've been talking to one particular officer who was recently put in charge of parking here in the community. Sorry for everybody ranting. I'm not trying to run everybody off. I'm just trying to tell y'all what's going on. I'm going to get with Tommy. He said he's having issues with Betaflight, Tommy. He's probably you're going, just tell Bill, bye, get on the computer. We can talk about Betaflight. So, but anyway, so I'm talking to this officer that's supposedly in charge of it. She's like, well, I understand your frustration. And I'm trying to get through to her. And I'm like, look, I've already been posting stuff for a year before I even met you, and I'm like, you've just been dealing with it for 4 months. So
you just got the handoff.
Understand my frustration doesn't even come close because see what I found out was when I would file a complaint and send in the picture to show that somebody had broke the law. Okay, the parking enforcement guy drives by. If he doesn't see it, he just deletes the file and says, oh, it's case closed, nothing going on. Even if I post the same picture of the same car parked there 2 days later, if he drives by,
doesn't see it.
So what I've been doing now for the last 4 months is I've got the officer in charge of the parking enforcement division in a chain email with about 60 pictures of continual infractions. And she's like, well, why are you? And then so I got to the point finally where I said, okay, I'm just going to send it to the city council. And I've even got a picture of this. I've got a picture of a paratransit bus forced to sit in the middle of the cul-de-sac to where the cars are parked out and what am I wanting to say? A jerry dan. You know what I'm talking about? The flatbed, okay. And it's blowing right by the truck as they're trying to walk into the house. And he's got a loaded vehicle on the back, and they're with probably about 18 inches away from the paratransit bus. And he's just hauling ass out through there. And so I sent that to the city council, and I said, look, this needs to be fixed. Can you see this?
Yeah.
No. And then suddenly I get a response back from the city council saying, oh God, I'm sorry. We can't believe, because I'm like, do you all realize what happens if one of these people gets hit after I've pointed out to you so many times that this is going on? And here's what's funny is the officer said, you need to really stop sending things to the city council because it just slows things down. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry that you're getting your butt chewed when I send stuff. Oh, I'm not getting in trouble at all. And I'm like, yeah, then okay, fine. And then so she sends me this one probably about 3 weeks ago after I found out I had to go back for another MRI. Sorry, I'm killing the guests. Thank you everybody for coming in and listening to me rant. We'll talk about drones again on Wednesday, I promise. But anyway, so I found out I had to go for another MRI on my back. And I got, stenosis of the spine or something that causes weird situations, cause pain or whatever. So she sends me this, well, I've been under the weather and that's why I've not been able to respond to you. And I'm sitting here thinking, after 4 months, you want me to feel sorry for you for having the flu, officer? I'm like, I've still got people parking out in front of my house the same way, and you want me to take sympathy over something you've never fixed. You've never even made an effort to fix. You just keep prolonging the inevitable. So I'm to the point of where I'm just going to go ahead and say, look, Mr., because we pay for that. What is it? The Legal Shield thing, so it's a little cheapy thing. So I'm just going to be like, look, dude, find out what you can do to get me a sign up that says no parking out here. I mean, I figure after this long with as many pictures plus showing the paratransit bus in the middle, and if it comes right down to it, I'll even go get the drivers to testify how difficult it is to get in and out. And I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to give it to them because I'm frustrated with trying. I figure I'm doing the right thing because I started out sending it into the city, and nothing ever got done about it that way. I waited for a year that way. Then I met this officer such and such who's in charge of parking. And so now I've got this literally from October 15th until today. I've got, I think there's 46 pictures of people just parking right in there. I've got pictures with the buses there and how they've tried to come in and how they've had to get around. I've shown pictures where our mailboxes are blocked by other people and the mail truck just drives on. Hell with it, And I'm like, well, wait a minute. We have people that have checks that come every month and they have to take care of things on time, and you're just like acting like they don't matter. And I'm like, you can't do this.
Yeah, right. So,
okay. Sorry. Anyway, back to drones. I'm going to get the Skydio 2 soon here in the future. And I said, what did Curtis say? Did he fly camera drones or did he fly FPV? Did we ever find out?
Camera, maybe? There's something where it says camera.
Okay. And Brant Ariels was saying, Gary was saying that he would fly his Mavic Air until he got his Mavic Air 2. Hello, Big. There's some good drone footage of the what now? Something fell down in Russia. Hey, Dan, drone pool. Oh, he said camera. Thank you, Metro. Thank you very much. So he's got a lot of cool camera stuff coming up. So is anybody into? Okay, like we already heard, Tommy's going to order the Evo 2, or he's already pre-ordered the Evo 2. Is anybody else going to dive in the Evo 2 tank?
I was looking at it and trying to go because I've got a couple contractors that want me to start doing some progress mapping for them, and nice. I've come to a point that who knows when that drone's going to come out, how long it's going to take in order to have either I stitch the mapping my own self on my own software, or if I use another third-party vendor like 4D or whatever it is, or Drone Deploy or somebody else to do all the stitching until they can get all that information together if there's going to be a problem with it, and not knowing, and where at least the Phantom 4 and especially the V2 out there now, and just like we were saying about the mechanical shutter on there, that thing's a proven workhorse.
Yeah.
It's just the size of it. It would have been so nice if that 20-inch with that flight time, the 20 megapixel with that flight time on that drone to be able to use that would be nice.
Yeah, sure would. But okay, and that's another thing. Since you kind of steered that way, do we think the Phantom line is dead, or is there going to be you think there's going to be a Phantom 5, and they're going to keep the mechanical shutter just on the Phantom?
That is a guess for anything. But here's and I predicted this even when when DJI came out for. Oh, there you go. Nice. Came out with the inkling of that lawsuit when DJI and their suppliers and the employers had that major lawsuit. If you remember back, the RTK was just released. That RTK launch for DJI flopped here in California, at least. It flopped because the one drones that they had here, they couldn't get them. And then it turned out that, DJI started pulling everything back in that was out in shelves and took the V2s and retrofitted them into RTK packages. Well, that went out. Then what happened? It just sucked. Well, I know about marketing, and I know, I come from the construction background, but I know about development and processing, building of development of equipment. And there's no way you're going to find a supplier and be able to get a proven supplier that's going to be able to keep up with supplies. And I think this is just them coming back in the game. And my, shall we say, guess was that Phantom 5 with the removable lights. You don't build a drone like that for one customer.
Yeah. I don't buy that either. None of us buy that.
And I think if they can get the 4 back out like they're selling now, because it's available right now, you can order it on Amazon or even through DJI. DJI is like 10 to 14 days, and the Amazon, you can get it almost immediately. I think if they can get it up and keep up a supply of that, because there's too many commercial companies, especially here, I know some professional companies, all they do is mapping.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have the M210s with the RTK units and the ground base stations and everything, but 85% of their mapping is done with Phantoms. And when they first came out with that V2, they went out and bought their hands and upgraded their whole entire fleet. So now, guess what? They're starting to buy them back up again because it's been so long.
All right, I'm coming. Yeah, I'll keep talking. We're going to bring the voice.
Yeah, but I think it could be a possibility if the new suppliers work out well. I think that there will be, because let's face facts, the Phantom is their flagship for DJI. You don't throw away an Icon flagship and dump it out the door. You don't. It's destructive to the company.
You're locked and loaded, Mr. Dart.
Yeah, I love my V2.
Oh God, just rub it in. I still love my regular Phantom. I love my Fire.
Oh yeah.
What I've got just the Maverick Pro is what I have, and I love it. It's a great drone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what we're saying. She's like, "Why did you sell the other one? You get the Evo 2." I was like, they're kind of different.
Yeah.
I'll actually have something to do with the Skydio controller and filters now.
I know I had a long talk and discussion here with Jim Boyd, who's here in the chat, about the Evo, just the Evo 2, and it has to do with their camera. Their camera is not in essence, a 46 or 48 megapixel camera. No. Each pixel is only 0.8 in size, where most other drones are anywhere between 3 or 4 point.
Oh, wow.
And what it's doing is taking so you got your center pixel, and it's taking the other 4 pixels around it and taking them in a special software, and then that's making it together. So in essence, they're making a 12 megapixel image out of it for their 8K camera.
She was telling me that she's a little upset with me that she's been in the box too long.
That's right.
And she said, "See, you flashed my battery." I'm not even a sleep daddy.
Better cycle that battery if it's been in that long.
Yeah, that's what kind of shocked me, that it just kind of, I figured for sure it would be in sleep mode because it's probably been 6 months.
Holy.
It's been in storage, now, and then she just fired right up. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that I know what that means. You got to fly here in another week or two. I got you.
But I think I'm going to pull the trigger on the 4 Pro V2 but without the screen. And
here's something else. They have really got the Tello dialed in now. If you've not had a Tello or played with a Tello, they've still been working with firmware updates. And I think the last one came out in September last year, and this little drone is mega dialed in. The little Tello, man. And if Brian was still in here, he could tell you the same thing too. He could tell you the exact same thing too. It's really, really a good little drone now, especially for a beginner drone. Because they got even low, like it'll gripe in low light. And before it used to have a lot of difficulty. Now it'll tell you that it's having trouble, but it'll still hold position really, really good.
Oh, nice.
But I wish I had a fleet of these little things, because this is a little Cheerson CXOF optical flow. And when I got these, it was like $6 a piece. And I got like 4 or 5 of them. And over the time, I gave them away, and I got like 3 left. So I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Hey, good to see. We got some more people coming in and out. Newfound Drone Productions, glad to have you in the house. Timeless Truce, thumbs up all. Thank you very much, sir. Dan's in the house, of course. And as soon as Curtis comes in, we will switch over, because we haven't done this in a while, because Nemo's been hanging with his son and stuff, and John and him kind of been in the background talking about it too. We haven't done anything FPV oriented, so I know Curtis wants to bend your ear, because apparently he's been having trouble with Free Sky.
Oh.
He was like, and Dan was talking about it too. He was talking about having issues with it. And we were doing live beta flight episodes and stuff like that. I needed to get back into that stuff. Would be really cool too. Tello has a 5. Yeah, it is. The camera is not the greatest. It does take decent still photos. The video is kind of choppy, but because of the Wi-Fi, it's just going to be that way. But the drone itself, as far as positioning and how it holds itself in the air, is tenfold better than it was. Just flew a lock on Friday. Not sure if it's legal. Oh, I don't know. Is anybody from Canada still here that would know if it's legal to fly over a lock in a Canadian park?
I was just typing back the answer. Here in the U.S., I know in California, we cannot fly over any infrastructure areas that have to do with like water reservoir and areas like that, dams.
Yeah. Certain
dams you can, but a lot of, government or state infrastructure.
Yeah, anything government. It's like...
Yeah. So I won't bother posting it. I gave my comment verbally.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, that's for sure. Here we go. Hey. Hello, Mr. Dark.
Am I live? Am I here? Steve Carpenter, what's going on, man?
Curtis, how are you?
I'm doing good, brother. Tommy Polo in the house, man.
What's good?
Hey, man, long time no talk to.
Right? A wizard.
So we always had these conversations back in our show about our appearance and all that stuff. You need to turn your lights on so we can see you.
I know. I'm looking at it. It's like right now. I think we actually recently changed the light bulb in this room because it was just too much.
Oh.
And it's like right now, it's like there's no other lights in this room.
I'm trying to get
closer a little bit. Or
Tommy, put LEDs in and put a dimmer on it.
Right?
Well, how you doing,
flashlight on the phone.
So anything national park wise here is also illegal. I don't even think you can't even violate national park airspace. Now, like state parks and stuff, I do believe you can take off outside the park and then fly over the park, but you can't land in the park and take off in the park. So, but national parks, I do believe you cannot violate their airspace. I'm not 100% sure. Is that true or false, Mr. Dart?
First of all, evening, Chris. Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat real quick. What about national parks?
Can you violate national park airspace?
You cannot take off from a national park. You can take off outside of a national park, and you can land outside of a national park.
Okay.
It's kind of a questionable thing as to ethics, in my opinion.
True.
A lot of the national parks that we have up here in Washington State, I don't personally want to be in them. We have a lot of bird sanctuaries up here, and I know that we don't hear about bird strikes all the time, except for Philly Drone Life, who we hear, who has a thing against birds. birds. Oh, and then he starts chasing them for some reason. I don't quite understand that, but that's his thing.
If you saw the birds around here, you'd understand. They're jerks.
It's an East Coast gang thing, right?
They hold up traffic.
Oh wow!
Literally, like almost today, like we were watching them. They're walking across the parking lot, and it's like, come on, really? Like
the most I get is I'll get an eagle that will, and he will be like 200 feet above me, kind of checking me out, and then he just kind of cruises on. And then every once in a while, I'll get some seagulls that will circle around, but they never get near the drone. So, but there's a lot of birds up here, and it's a sanctuary area. Snoqualmie Falls has that kind of going on. Although I don't think the restrictions over Snoqualmie Falls, I don't think have anything to do with birds. Although they say it's birds, but it's the private resort that's up there that I think they don't want us flying over, because some of those windows are right up against the waterfall, and they don't want us taking pictures of the waterfall and getting people getting massages or something, or getting
drinks from the waterfall.
Right. So that's kind of where that stands. It's more an ethical question, and it's different for every national park as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. I've never been to Mount Rushmore, but I would think that would be just an awesome place to be able to utilize a drone.
Oh yeah, it would.
Yes.
Ron Lockwood flew just outside of it here a couple of weeks ago, and he had his Zoom and being able to zoom in on it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and here, since I wanted to share this with you guys, because like I said, my little Mavic Mini is now a true coast-to-coast drone. This is what I did when I was in Virginia, and just to give you an idea of how much in Hickville I live in Virginia. So prepare yourselves for it. And then I'm going to whip it around, and you're going to see the most active interstate in my community when I turn it around. And you'll notice the Cracker Barrel coming up here soon. Oh, yes, the Cracker Barrel with smoke coming from the stack. Now, is that an arterial hub of action or what?
Wow.
My wife literally looked at me and she goes, "Is this all there is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is pretty much it, baby." And she's like, all right. Next time I'm just giving you money. That's what she told me. She said, next time I'm just giving you money.
Well, I haven't downloaded the footage I did today, but I went out twice today. I went out this morning and this afternoon, went up to Kent, and I was filming a lot of the rail yards up there. So I haven't looked at it yet. I've got the iPad Pro and was watching it, and I think I got some really interesting train footage. But and spent a lot of time tracking trains, running alongside, stuff like that. I don't think it'll be a complete video. I think it'll be part of a larger video that I make a little bit later on. But I guess what I think is some pretty good shots, but I haven't downloaded it yet, so I can't really tell you. Until you get it on that big monitor and you start color grading, you go, okay, that looks cool, or wow, I just wasted my day.
If Jeffrey style FPV were about to pry into Curtis Dart's mind as he's having trouble with Free Sky, and he wants to bend Tommy's ear to get to the idea of what might be the problem. Mr. Dart.
Well, it's actually going to take me downloading Beta Flight to do this,
That helps.
which I have not done yet. No, I had. It's because we had so much rain, and Bill, you can attest to this. I have not flown in 20 weeks, so I just had to get out today. I didn't.
Oh my God!
20 weeks of solid rain. It's been raining since November. That's all there is to it. So yeah, I just wanted to get out and fly today just to remember how to do it.
Yeah. Holy mackerel!
Did you break out the manual?
No, I didn't break. I've been doing this long enough. I don't think I need to break out the manual, but the muscle memory is still there, but it's kind of rusty. So how would that work? Would you be allowed to fly drone over Niagara Falls being on the border? So you can't fly over Niagara Falls, and you don't want to fly over Niagara Falls. There's too many helicopter tours going on there.
Yeah.
There is a loophole from the Canadian side, but if you get in the air on the U.S. side from the Canadian side, there are U.S. Marshals over there that are ready to pounce on you. I wouldn't do it. Interesting side note, when DJI first came out back in 2013, around June, they sponsored a contest, and they said, we're looking for the most awesome footage, and we'll give you a free drone, which is kind of silly. You've already got the drone. Why would you? Okay. And the guy that won flew over Niagara Falls, and he won the drone. And I'm thinking, wow, somebody that did something illegal just got rewarded.
Right.
But this is in 2013, so there is that.
Yeah, I've had a friend of mine that flew over the Lake Powell area, the Grand Canyon National Park. And what he did is he was on an Indian reservation because he wanted to take some pictures of these buttes that were over there and set it up for one of these beautiful orangey, gorgeous red, purple sky, sunsets. And he took off on the Indian reservation side, then flew out over where he's flying over the park, and it was all visually within line of sight from where he was at. And guess who comes driving up? Because he was standing now on the national park side. So he gets up, and the ranger pulls up, and he goes, "That's your drone?" He goes, "Yep. You're not allowed to fly in national park." And he goes, "No, sir, I can fly in a national park. I just can't take off or land in a national park." And the ranger just turned over and just looked at him straight in the face. He goes, "You've been reading the rules. Have a fun day."
And the other caveat to that is you're supposed to fly within line of sight.
Yeah.
So even if you take off just outside the park, I mean, how far can you really legally go?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. If we get remote ID and we get all the qualifications and stuff does that mean that we can take off outside the park and fly miles into the park if we want to?
In theory, from what I read, yes, and this is something that I've thought about, and because that Mount Rushmore thing comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly.
You can fly, if you're flying the top tier, you could be flying beyond visual line of sight legally, in which case I think it's going to have to be a waypoint thing, but you could program that mission.
Yeah.
It would not be that hard to program that mission, but I think they're going to make a caveat on that. And the reason they're going to do that is because of what Amazon and UPS is wanting to do, and pizza deliveries and every other silly thing that's out there that wants to deliver stuff. They're going to be using pre-programmed flights. So I think that's going to be the caveat to that. So my answer is yes. I think you would be able to.
I'm just waiting. Then I can climb Half Dome and have a pizza delivered at the top up there.
Wait a minute. How high is Half Dome?
About
as high as full dome.
feet.
Well, I'm just thinking the lift ability of the drone getting up there.
Well, you're about
Because the air-
4,000. You're about 4,000 feet in the valley.
Okay, because the reason I'm saying that is because we're talking about the air gets thinner as it gets higher up.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to lift something, that becomes more of an issue.
And when you're standing up there, you might as well.
I mean, you're sitting here dreaming. I understand you're kind of like
off too.
hypothetically having fun here, and there's nothing wrong with that. And here I am trying to mechanically work out how you would do this, and I shouldn't do that. By the way, is my mic working? Is this thing on? I can't really hear.
Oh yeah,
We can hear you fine.
clear as a
A
bell.
few people got mad at me when I was talking about my problem with the parking. Sorry. I totally understand the downvotes because I went off on a deep end there. So we're back on the drone subject. So Curtis, I was talking to somebody, a mutual, or someone that we know, that was saying that they feel that the hobby is done for no matter what in 2 years. And so they're going to just revert to water-based vehicles and ground vehicles and just go call them their channel RC something, you know. So do you personally think the drone hobby for hobbyists is going to be dead in approximately 3 years?
There's multiple parts to that. First of all, the underwater drone market is going to be huge. There's a fear factor in putting something in the okay. So let me full disclaimer here. I have an underwater drone. I'm addicted to the damn thing. There's there's a fear factor of putting something in the water and you not being able to see it, even though there's a tether on the thing, getting away from you and losing disorientation. That's going to be an exciting thing to participate in, because that is the most unexplored area of our planet, is underwater. And you would be surprised how much stuff you can find underwater. And as these new underwater drones are developed with grappler arms and pickup systems, you're going to be able to pick up small stuff that's underwater. I found wallets. I found watches. A buddy of mine found Jim from Above and Beyond Drones. He found scissors. He found all kinds of stuff down there.
Excellent diversion, but I'm asking about the ones that fly in the air.
Right. No, I just wanted to make a little quick caveat to that is going to be an exciting thing to be looking forward to.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I don't think the hobby is dead. My opinion of what is going to happen is the FAA made this big brick wall they put out in front of us, and they made this big brick wall they put in front of us. And then what they're going to do, I think, and this is just my opinion, I have nothing to reference it by, but I think what they're going to do is dial it back and say, "Oh, look at us, we're being friendly to the everyday drone guys." But they'll still put more restrictions on us, just not as hardcore brick wall as they have right now. I think that's what's going to happen.
Hopefully not putting us all in one little bubble park to fly in, but they will restrict us more heavily.
Right. And, there's...
And a kind of funny caveat, as we're saying here, Mermaid Clover happens to be a professional mermaid. So underwater drones are right up her alley.
Well, I would love to get with you and do some underwater filming with you. That would be awesome.
Yep.
In 4K, no less.
Ooh, did you hear that, Court?
So no, I don't think the hobby is over. I think there is going to be a little bit more difficulty in getting involved in it. There's going to be a few extra steps. I don't think we're going to have to connect to the internet. I think that's something that was put in place for Amazon and all these other guys that are going to be doing these long distance, beyond visual line of sight waypoint stuff. They're going to need a way to document exactly what happens. I don't think most people are aware of how big these things are. I mean, I know you showed the UPS drone. That's kind of hypothetical. I know the guys from Amazon. I've seen the drone. It's the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's freaking huge. It's $250,000. When you start having, when you go outside and see 40 and 50 of these things flying around, people are not going to be happy about this, and they are not quiet.
No.
Not at all.
Well, I'm just trying to think of how much product are you going to have in order to have make it make sense or profitable to be using these drones for delivery.
Amazon Prime, you pay ahead.
You're talking about flying this Tiny Hawk in the front yard. Now, of course, the Tiny Hawk 2's out now, and it's got a much better camera on it. I don't know if the VTX is any better, though. Is it the same crappy VTX? Haven't heard. See, Ronnie B was talking about his Tiny Hawk in the front yard.
Jim agrees with me. The hobby is not done for.
Oh, look here. Well, I sent Jim a link to come in here and join us. Jim, do you see that? Jim, we need you on the bridge, Jim. Come, Jim, save the ship, Jim. We need you now.
Curtis, my biggest fear when reading through I'm still reading through, and I've been typing comments and my letter together to send in.
Yeah.
And my biggest fear is the third-party vendor and the monitoring. Yes, we're being monitored on our phones. I know that. But now with an app, the way I'm reading it is you can have that phone. I'm going to know who you are, Curtis. that you're not at home, because guess what? I'm going to be able to know where you live, because if you're registering it on your phone, on that app, and that information is going to be available to anybody with that application, not just pilots.
In real time.
Oh,
yeah. So guess what? Curtis is 10 miles away from his home. Let's go pan, knock on his door, and let's see what we can go shopping for.
Here's the one that'll bake your noodle. Your phone is tied into some third-party server, and your phone that has access to all your records, accounts, and abilities somehow got compromised while you were saying you're out flying your drone. So they don't come to your house. They drain your account. They drain your account while you're flying your drone. You go home, everything's in your house, but the lights get cut off the next day because you ain't got no more money.
Yeah.
They could do that right now with your phone.
Yeah, on my phone. But that's going to be people that are doing it. This is not the everyday Joe Q public, that it's the local criminals on the street. They don't have that.
I know where you're going with it, and yes, it is a concern. I don't have an answer for you on that, other than I agree with you. It's not cool. Period. I mean, there's no other way to put it other than using bad words.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Filth and flarn and filth and flarn.
And gosh darn.
Yes.
I'm not happy about that option either, and for other reasons than that. But I mean, I'm not excited about that option at all.
Wait a minute, I'm seeing Chris is saying something about, doesn't Kitty Hawk do something like that? What do you? It doesn't really. It kind of, you can get your clearance and your authorization for a grid that you're flying in through Kitty Hawk and AirMap, but it doesn't really, register who you are and everything. I mean, other than the fact that, yes, you're giving them your phone number and who you are, but you're not telling them your location. You're kind of giving them a general idea where you're going to fly, kind of like a flight plan,
So Chris, essentially companies like Kitty Hawk and airdata.com, those companies they're logging what you did. They're not doing what you do live. It's a different situation entirely. Law, and this is what I think should actually take place is I should, if something happens while I'm out flying, I should turn over my flight logs. If somebody said, "Oh, you crashed into my car," or you caused some damage of some sort, and I say I didn't, I should have to produce my flight logs, whether it be just me giving somebody the flight logs, or I use airdata.com, showing them my files from airdata.com, saying, okay, this is where I was, altitude, and here's my complete flight that I did. I can download it and show it on Google Earth and show that I was nowhere near it, or I actually did crash into them, whatever the case may be. I think that is something that should be implemented. I'm all for accountability. I have no issues with that.
Yeah.
And that's already in place. It's already there. Why don't we utilize that particular tool? A lot of us are already subscribed to Kitty Hawk or airdata.com. I'm sure there's a few others. I'm just aware of those two. But I think we should be utilizing that.
Yeah, I'm on AirData, and I know Jim Boyd uses AirData.
Yeah. Oh, Jim loves AirData too.
Yeah.
Jim, get in here, man.
I need to get more involved in all that. And Tommy was pointing out earlier, and Curtis and I have talked about this a million times. We're coming up on springtime. I'm going to drive down there, especially since he was in Kent today. So he was probably.
I didn't plan on it. I was out driving around trying to figure out something to film. I had no idea what I was going to film, and then I was like, I haven't been to Kent in a while. And there's a bunch of rail yards at what do they call them? Where they switch tracks. There's the interchanges and stuff. There's a whole section down there where they do interchanges and stuff, and it looks really cool. I mean, they're literally, a train goes through this way and cuts across this track, and 2 minutes later, another one comes this way and cuts across where it just was. They got it timed out really well.
The thing about it is I'm always in Kent, probably like at least every other weekend, So, and as a matter of fact, I already know that this Friday I'm going to be in Kent.
There you go.
I know you're going to be working and everything, but I'm just saying, I know for a fact that probably I'll be down there by like 2:30, and I'll be down there till probably 7:30 at night. And what's the lake right there in Kent? The little lake. I'm trying to think. There's because my sons literally like live right over the hill from.
Oh, hey, Bill.
little late. A little.
I think
community
somebody's
park.
waiting to come in.
You what now? Oh, there he is.
How long
Yes.
it's going to take you to realize he's there?
There we go. Now he's in the house.
Jim is in the house.
Been there for 20 minutes.
This is not the Matt North show.
20 minutes.
I know.
All
I
right,
know.
man. All right.
Hey, Jim.
What's up, boys?
So you're saying, okay, here we go. We're back on this subject. I want to dwell on this subject again because Jim and I had a long messenger conversation about this earlier about what we think should and should be. Okay, Jim is of the theory, and I was to begin with also, that we need to be, polite and eloquent and properly convey our thoughts about what we feel should be done with FAA, 2019, whatever, blah, 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 about remote ID.
I don't think they don't. Go ahead, man. Finish up.
I really don't think that just sending in comments is going to make a difference. And I really think we got to find some quirky little way to get attention drawn to it.
Since we don't have a national organization of Jim and Bill and Steve, because we would all argue about who wants to be boss.
Yeah, that's true.
We have the problem of having to submit our comments through here. But the one thing I do think that they are going to listen to the comments because they don't know what they're doing right now. They don't have any idea what they're talking about. The man I spoke to, in one sentence, he contradicted what he started out saying about, you saw it, Steve, what I posted from CES on him talking about remote ID. And doesn't remote ID get you away from UTM? Why do you need unmanned traffic management if you have remote ID? Well, then you're killing more service suppliers who you have to pay. These nice people doing lank for you right now and all that are just waiting for the okay from the FAA to start charging you money for holding the depository information on Bill and knowing where Bill is every minute of the day. And then who regulates them? The FAA is a safety NAS agency. They're not a federal regulation agency. Insofar as that would be something through Trade Commission or FCC, whoever's going to handle that. But you've got my information. What if I crash my drone tomorrow? When does that information get out of your repository? How do I know when your repository is hacked? If you look, there's a list of 20 guys now. Aerodyne, Airbus, AirMap, AirX, Altitude Angel, Collins Aerospace, DJI, Drone Up, Kitty Hawk. I can keep going on, but who cares? These are all service suppliers right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm listening to everything that you're saying.
It's going to be a money grab. It's going to be a money grab.
Well, everybody's expecting that. But that's why I'm saying that we're the ones who are going to be the ones that have to support this money grab. So the sooner that we turn our backs on it and just say, we're not going to pay for this, we're not going to, and I mean, I totally, and in my mind, that is still considered an act of civil disobedience, which we have the right to do. Now that's kind of a gray area, possibly, but in my opinion, by basing exactly what you're pointing out, the fatal flaws in their system, I have the right to perform an act of civil disobedience and fly my drone beyond what they're telling me they're wanting me to do.
Theoretically, they have to come up with a system that we're going to use. If we're not going to use it, what's their alternative?
Exactly.
Telling DJI to shut down every drone? They can't
Coffee
do
does
that.
taste better with Rodney Bell Cup.
Amen.
I don't know what you're talking about, Curtis.
No clue.
No idea.
Greatest marketer on YouTube.
I've made like 9 million shirts and sold 3 to
You
everybody.
sold the shirt?
I'm best customer.
Well, the thing that Rodney Bell does is he just sends it out.
Oh, no. Well, the thing about it is I've probably bought 50, 60 shirts for me and my wife. And my wife is like, oh, a new Coast to Coast drone shirt. So I quit doing that. I haven't made one and bought one in a while. But
So
now,
Matt says that this kind of goes back to what we're talking about. Mel says he won't pay for data storage of his own personal data.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's going to be. I mean, that's what the system is. That's what remote ID is. Your RC is sending out its signal. That signal has to be stored to you, connected to you, data-wise. And whoever's giving Lank right now is going through the FAA, getting the authorization for you to fly. Well, in the future, it's going to be the authorization for everything. I have certificates of authorization. I won't need them anymore. I can throw them out. While it cuts down the work for the FAA, it changes all responsibility over to people we don't know and have no control over.
Meridian, Mel. It's Meridian. They live like right over the hill from Lake Meridian. And yeah, it's like Mel said, I won't pay for data storage of my own personal data. Because that's exactly what it is. It's like, because it's already your data that you're paying your provider for, but you got to pay for it again. So you're being
DJI has all that information already when you signed up and acknowledged.
Yeah, you're sending that info. Well, I don't know that you're sending it to them. You can send it to them. I think right now that you have to send it to them. It used to be different than that, but.
Well, Kevin Finister proved a long time ago that how many links you're actually connecting up to when you're internet connected to DJI's account. There's like 24 internet links that connect at the same time.
Oh, this is funny. I love Hank's statement.
This is secretly a channel for evil geniuses.
$1 million.
But it's true. They're all sitting back quietly, not saying a thing. You think Harris Corporation isn't going to charge you? Are you insane?
Well, see, the thing about it is like Ronnie B's saying right here, DJI realizes that their piece of the pie is getting cut hard. That's why they came out and said what they said, man. They're like, whoa. We make our bread and butter off of the hobbyists. That's who we make our bank off of, and this is cutting their throats. So,
well, did you guys get the email about the Department of Interior and the statement from DJI?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty harsh, too.
No, I didn't see that. I'll have to look for it.
They grounded everything, man.
They grounded everything, and DJI released a statement via email to everybody that owns a DJI drone. It could be in your spam folder, but I would check for it.
Yeah.
It's an interesting read as to how much technology the Department of Interior is using. And
Bureau of Land Management has some 600 drones of DJIs.
Yeah. And you got to ask yourself, what is so freaking security? What is that? What is it that they're doing that is so security conscious?
Well, I asked the question: have we not mapped out the United States of America already for China in the past 5 years?
Yeah.
Anybody heard of Google Earth?
Pretty much, exactly. And the thing about it's even funnier is if you really try, you could probably find live cams to do it all for you too. There's one. I mean, even my little town in Marion, Virginia, there's 3 live cams. They got like 10,000 people. There's live cams everywhere.
They're all up and down the highways up here.
Yeah.
Even the FAA guy said that only law enforcement was going to see that information. But if you watch the first half of what he said, no, that's not correct. He said, oh, you're going to be looking to see that there's not another drone flying in your area so that well, how would the other person know if I was flying in that area? That's a contradictory statement. So they need guidance on this, and it can't. You know that the DAC was started in 2014, the Drone Advisory Committee, and they realized they just can't get the information from the manufacturers. They need it from guys who are starting LLCs and doing this work every day.
Mel, we agree with you.
Yeah, because this is like I said, the apps and stuff that we have. Even the little crappy apps for your bugs drones, they have the GPS right there showing where the signal is, showing where the drone is in the damn air, so they know where it's at. So why do we have to go through this ridiculous extent? Because like I said, even the cheap toy drones with the GPS in them show where they're at on a map in real time. All we got to do is add a little What is it that we need to add to them so that we can all talk to each other and stay out of each way?
They could have forced ADSB out, but the problem is the FAA does not have the infrastructure to handle that ADSB below 400 feet. They would have to put in all new satellites and connection system. So that, I think they even state that, but that is why you only have ADSB in since 2018. If you have an enterprise drone, you've seen it since 2018.
Right.
The FAA is not here to spend money because of UAS. They're here to get the money because of UAS and keep our skies safe.
Yeah. So
Name a government agency that's not trying to get our money.
Because we've all run into so many other UAVs in the sky when we fly. You know, there's
Bill knows very well that, you know, the 520 bridge has already been paid for. The New Tacoma Narrows Bridge has already been paid for, but are there still tolls there? Yes, there are. They're not going away.
All here down here in Southern California the same way. All our toll roads, they should have been transmitted back over to the state, because the original law was once the toll roads were paid for,
Exactly.
they were transferred over. But no, what did they do? They started their own brand new special agency, bring all the city representatives in that it travels through, and now what do? We send out more bonds, and they just creating this big snowball that you got to keep paying for.
Or you're coming up 405 and that HOV lane that you pay to drive in.
As much as $12 at some point. To go 6 miles, it could be as much as $12. It's like ridiculous.
And look at the time it adds too.
It doesn't. That's the thing. They've proven that it doesn't. There's been people that have gone out there and done independent studies and drove both lanes, and you don't save that much money. You don't save that much time, I should say.
Oh, you mean if you have e-pass or something? If I have to stop and dig out $1.50 out of my pocket?
Oh no, it's a moving toll. So you buy a little thing that fits on your windshield.
Yeah,
and when you go through it, just automatically bills you. But even the 520 bridge, I don't have one of those, because I don't go through anything that it would be told at this particular point. But the wife and I were up in Seattle a couple weeks ago, and we thought, let's just cut across, and we were over in the Bellevue side. We thought we'd cut across and go over to the Seattle side and go across the 520 bridge. And I'm thinking there's going to be a toll gate there. There was nothing. And I don't have that thing in the window. I just kept driving going, well, we're going to get a ticket or something. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Get in the mail.
And 2 days later, we got it in the mail. Says it was $4 to go over that bridge.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, whatever, just pay it.
You got one of them too.
Yeah. Well, here, if you don't have a transponder, transponders are gone. Now it looks just like a barcode sticker you put on your windshield. They're no longer using the transponders. You have 5 days to pay the toll if you drive through. There's big signs everywhere. You know, go to tollroads.com and pay your toll. You go on there and you can just pay it if you don't have an account set up.
Mel, you're correct again. Anytime you have any kind of commercial vehicle that utilizes those services, those roads, it's more for commercial.
Oh, yeah. It goes by how many wheels, doesn't it?
How many weight.
Axles?
It goes by the weight.
Weight?
Wheels.
Okay.
Yeah, so you license your truck here in Washington State by the weight of the truck.
Well,
it went by axle.
Here the toll is how many
might be
axles
East Coast
you have
thing.
going through on the
We
toll.
got a ton of weigh stations around here. It's freaking stupid.
Yeah, it's axles in New York. I know that.
Oh, okay. So, something on a side note that I brought up multiple times while I've been in here, and since I went home, I took pictures and I wanted to share with everybody. The one kind of unique claim to fame about Marion, Virginia is that there was actually produced as it, the formula that we drink today was actually in Marion in a place called the Tip Cola Building from way back when. I've got the picture of the. And here's what sucks, really and truthfully. Here's what sucks, and it's going to make you sad. Is we don't know how much longer. Is it the right one? No, it's the wrong one. Okay,
The building will actually stand.
No, here's the bad thing. I will get it right this time because I only have one left to share.
Liquid sugar in a can.
The building is both for sale and for rent. It will probably be torn down. That's how we treat our history anymore. Granted, I know it's like you said, sugar in a can, caffeine in a can, but it's part of our history and part of our nostalgia, and that's all that building has.
It's an American icon.
And you can see it's for sale and for rent. And I was kind of like, oh wow, and if I was Pepsi, I would turn it into a little mini museum. And you could keep that little place rolling year round, and it would be a little tourist drag for the community. But no, did they do that? No. What they should do is even maybe set it up like the original Mountain Dew, the formulation that we all drink today. That building that I showed you, the formula where they added the orange juice and stuff right there. That was where it was done, in that building. So, but probably in another 10 years, it won't be there. It'll be completely gone. I just think that we're doomed to forget our history the further we progress.
Sometimes,
well, the more we lose our morals, the more each generation goes along, we lose less morals.
Because we make society so much easier. Everything's so much easier. You don't have to, like we're going to have drones deliver our fast food.
Well, we need to forget there was ever a Confederate flag or a Confederacy in the first place.
Yeah.
We need to forget all that. There was no Louisiana Purchase. Spain never owned anything. Don't forget about it.
Yeah.
We were always here.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
I don't know what you're talking about with
and
these
the Indians always had casinos.
Yeah.
That's not what they're saying when they come across the border here in California. They were here first.
Do you know that stuff is the worst? The Mexicans don't even drink that beer.
Nope.
Oh, this was something I had.
All I'm saying is the virus is giving Corona a bad name.
You bet. I'm wondering how much it's affected their sales.
Yeah, really.
Oh, for sure. And then I remember this was when we started. You were still driving, Curtis, so you probably didn't get to see this one. When I was sharing this one, I was like, man.
Oh, yeah.
What is this? What's happening here?
They're spread. Okay, hang on. We'll start it all over just for you. They're using the drones to spray I don't know, disinfectant in China for
Clorox.
the coronavirus.
Oh,
and I was telling Tommy, and I was telling Steve, I was like, man, I could have sworn I saw this movie about 3 years ago. It's freaking me out. I mean, it's almost like Soylent Green or something.
Right. You remember that? Soylent Green is people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent movie, by the way.
That's what I was telling everybody the Impossible Whopper was, Soylent Green.
Wow, though.
Great job.
Jeff Sills was saying in chat over in Art's live stream that DJI has given the government a bunch of the Enterprise drones and have the speakers, and they're flying the drones telling people if they see them without masks on, to get inside.
Yeah, I had it on earlier. The grandmother was like, and she just laughed at him and turned around and walked off.
I started a bit of a controversy on Facebook the other day, not thinking I was doing that. I posted up again. It was a letter that was sent out to, or an email that was sent out to dealers about DJI is going to be closing their doors until this thing is essentially over with. And I posted that up, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, this is just the Chinese holiday. It's the Lunar New Year." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get that. I understand that it's the Lunar New Year, but they're extending it out 7 more days." And then I get all these people are going, "Oh, well, they're giving them more time to get back." So I'm like, "Really? Are you guys not reading this thing?" DJI is closing their doors, and essentially, I mean, all Chinese factories and deliveries are being shut down right now. So we're going to see
February 1st. Is DJI doing it longer than February 1st?
Up to February 10th.
Okay. Well, not only that, but like Curtis was saying, was in the email itself, they are very clear that it may go longer.
Yeah.
And I spoke
we'll see how it is at that point in time.
I spoke specifically with DJI employees, and they said, yes, this is true. This is a thing, and we wish them all the very best, and we're hopes and prayers that, that they are able to contain this thing. And yes, I agree with that as well. But people are not, it's amazing how many people out there are just kind of blinded by it, and they go, oh, well, I talked to the guy from LumaCube the other day, and he's like, "Well, I have problems ordering this time of year all the time. It's this coronavirus thing is just a bunch of hype from the media." I'm like, I don't care if it's hype from the media or not, and I don't care about the fact that
not hype. It's not hype.
I don't care the fact, people are saying, well, you can get sick, you can die. There's a better chance of you dying from just the common flu or sleep apnea or any other cause more than you would get a chance of catching the coronavirus. That's not the point. The point is that these businesses are closing down, and it's going to globally impact us financially. Yeah. Delta Airlines was the latest one that announced they're canceling all flights to China. They're not canceling flights out of China, but anybody that comes out of China is going to Alaska, and they're going to be held for 2 weeks there. But flights going to Alaska or going to China are not happening now from Delta. And I'm sure other airlines have announced it. I haven't searched the news today to see who else has announced it. Yahoo has closed their offices down over there. Google has closed their offices down over there. They brought their people home before all these
Listen, let's be serious. People are not giving their kids the vaccines anymore. How many people actually get the flu shot? And you think this can't be a pandemic inside of a month?
Oh yeah,
easily.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying
no. I'm saying they're ignoring what you're saying.
Yeah,
this is what Steve was talking about with the little grandmother lady. Oh, come on. Whatever, man. Yeah, whatever. You kids. You crazy kids.
Now one
of the other things that they're not really showing, and that part's a tragedy, is there's nothing in the stores. The stores are completely cleared out of food, trying to get food for people to eat. It's a huge, huge problem.
So I went to Fortune magazine. Mel, I don't have the link in front of me, but I check out Fortune magazine a lot of time online, and they had a list of all the places that were closing down. And Google has offices in China. I don't know what they're doing there, but they said they are bringing their people home.
Well, Steve posted a video from a guy who's actually on the ground in Wuhan, China.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
What?
And those guys take their life into their hands when they post a video.
Yeah. And Autel Robotics is shut down too.
It's a safety precaution. Why wouldn't you?
Well, I know some people that were CEOs that deal with China quite a bit. And this goes back to when it's obviously gotten a bit better, but they built circuit boards for the iPhone. Right. They were here in the United States. And when he was CEO, when he first came onto the company, they were doing like less than $500,000 a year. When he left, they were doing $1 billion a year.
Is that MFlex?
MFlex, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard me talk about that before, Jim. And their biggest fear, which now is, which happened before, which they didn't know about, you only get paid 50% of your salary throughout the whole year, a worker there. And then in Chinese New Year's, you get the other 50% for the whole entire year that you didn't get. Well, people left, and they never came back.
They all went and got drunk.
The first year that they opened up over there, they lost 1/3 of their employees the first year after Chinese New Year's. Gone. People just never came back.
Huh. Well, this is kind of where I'm going to share this in case somebody
still happens today.
Mel was asking about this. I can get this on my phone and see it. I guess my phone has access to it or something, but I can't get it on my computer because it says you need to register. But I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in there. This is the Fortune magazine article that I read about the different places that were closing at Google. Several of them are listed, but I can't see it on my computer for some reason.
Oh, I was just showing Mel this.
Okay.
Because he and I, we smoke way too much.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of an inside.
What is it?
Some kind of vape product?
I've gone to vaping.
Oh.
Thanks to getting stuck in an airport for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Businesses closed in China due to coronavirus.
Now, is that Shenzhen too, or just Wuhan, or what districts are we talking about?
Let me see if I can see it on my phone, and then.
Is
See,
that the link you posted?
I can't get it that way. I can bring it up this way. Let's do it this way.
Yeah, bring it up, Bill.
I can do it this way. I got it. We got it. All right, here we go. I'll go over here. I got a share running. On tab.
Says Google, so I can get it on my phone. I can't get it on my computer. Google is shutting down its offices in mainland China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, restricting employee travel.
Yeah, I got to register.
Yeah, Apple, Facebook, J.P. Morgan and Chase and Company, Ford Motor Company, Kraft Heinz Company have all instituted employee travel bans to and from China. Let's see who else is listed here. Apple employees,
GEL Healthcare,
PricewaterhouseCoopers.
That's the stock exchange boys.
Hubei, whoever Hubei is, Hubie.
Never heard of them.
Have returned to the United States, but they have to be isolated for 14 days. HSBC has instituted a ban of travel to Hong Kong and have put their returning employees, sent them to Alaska for isolation.
Bill, have you watched any of that series called Pandemic on
Ernst and Young?
No, sir. I surely have. So if Dan Nye is still in the chat, I thought his niece has been making graphics for him, and he just posted something kind of cool, and I wanted to share it with you all. I'm not sure if she did this or not, but it looks kind of cool. I wanted to his new intro.
Is that for Jody? Is that Jody drone pool or a different drone pool?
Dan Nye drone pool.
Okay, it's a different one.
Yeah, but yeah, his niece has been making stuff for him. Thought that was kind of cool. That was why I was wanting to show it.
Yeah, I like that actually.
So Mel, real quick, I don't know this for a fact. All I'm doing is reading this article and saying that Google is removing their employees. They have offices over there.
They have for decades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bosch is pulling their employees.
Bissell pulled their employees. GE Healthcare pulled their employees.
United Airlines, American Airlines all suspended flights.
Because the World Health Organization called it an epidemic. The CDC.
And our embassies are pulling non-emergency personnel, all non-emergency personnel out.
Now,
IKEA,
I know nothing about this, but what I do know is that they said the only way to test for it is a PCR test through the CDC.
Yeah.
Which, holy Christ, that's got to cost money.
Yeah.
IKEA is shutting their doors over there and bringing their employees back.
So the Swiss company is shutting their doors in China.
Yeah.
So that Jim in America won't be getting his thing that takes 8 people to put together. IKEA makes all those shelving things.
Well, here's one. Starbucks, which opened its first China store in 1999, now has 4,292 stores in mainland China. It is closing half those stores and returning workers to their home of origin in response to the coronavirus.
Yep.
Wow.
Home of origin. So it's not all U.S. employees. I mean, people from all over the world go there.
Yeah.
And I would imagine these are management folks that are over there that they're talking about.
Because the regular workers are probably the everyday city people living there that are doing it.
Well, Disney closed the gates to its Shanghai theme park.
Oh, yeah. They shut that down over a week, 10 days ago.
Yep. I don't understand why I can get this on my phone without a problem, but I can't get it on my computer. That's very strange. If you guys can pull that link up on your phone, there's a whole lot more there. It's a huge article of everything that's closing and who all's being affected by this. Yeah, sure. There's a chance you could die from a million other things, and the odds are you're not going to die from the coronavirus. But as far as globally affecting us economically, we're going to find out how much we do depend on China.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's right around the corner.
And China's going to find out how much it depends on the rest of the world, because it's going to hit them deeply in their pockets.
Oh,
Yeah.
Economically, sure.
Yeah.
Did you get to see that thing that I made for Tommy the other day? It just it was stuck in my head, and I couldn't help it till I finally fixed it. Did you see that? I thought that came out so cool.
Yeah. Tommy's the face in the moon.
The man in the
I
moon.
thought it was kind of neat.
The man in the moon, Tommy.
It says
Steve and Tommy had not met until tonight.
Not
So
formally, no.
They both came in and they were like, "Oh, yeah,
I know that name.
never met you before." And then that
Well,
I was like, "Oh, I guess I need to introduce people." Oops.
Does he want to meet him again?
On the live show when you're on with Curtis, you've been on, and I
Yes. That's where I seen the name.
That was a long time ago.
I said it.
A long time.
What did I say? How was it that I worded it? Because I didn't want to call him sidekick, and I said what was it? Wingman? That's it.
Wingman.
It was kind of a pun there. Did you notice? Because I said you were Curtis's wingman. Curtis.
The Batman and Robin of.
Curtis's fidgety camera again.
Curtis, why are
I
you?
guess I gotta wear the green tights, right?
Because I just pulled up After Effects. I was going to show you guys something, and it's messing up.
It's after affecting him.
Yeah, it's after affecting me.
I get it.
Google's been there for, like I said with Mel, I put it in there, has been there for decades, because actually Google bills their, shall we say, their social economic software for their facial recognition that tracks the mannerisms of people throughout the whole country. And they build this software, which it is like your FICO score would be financially. You have a score that Google has built with their software of where you are socially and where you can move into, where you can buy, where you can live, where you can work. And the government goes through and has this software that Google built for them.
Oh my God, that's scary.
Oh, it is. And then Google talks about how they're all for the people. Excuse me. All you're worried about is the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Talk about automatically putting you in a social class.
It's exactly what you do. Social economic class.
Yeah.
They've been doing this before all this technology. It just took a lot longer.
Yeah.
But now it's nice and easy.
Just wait, Mel. The pole's going to drop out of the ceiling, and Curtis is going to start dancing any minute.
No, I'm pre-rendering something so you guys can check this out. I know Bill likes the 3D graphics, so I'm pre-rendering something so you guys can see.
Throwing the seizure patients into
seizures.
Really? I'm going to start seeing Jerry again. I'm going to start having a flashback. Hey, Jerry!
They're coming. Post-traumatic stress.
It's almost done here. Hang on.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that's actually over there. He was over there for Chinese New Year's. He's the president of a big vessel company that's worldwide, but they're here in California. Right here in Dana Point is their headquarters. And he's been over there for Chinese New Year's, and then they were getting ready to finish up on, I think, 3 or 4 of their 60, 70-foot yachts, their transcontinental yachts capability. And he's over there, and now with this quarantine, because we have a board meeting coming up next week, I go, I don't think he's going to be here. Either that, or taking in a bunch of masks and going to mask him up.
Oh, wait, I hit the wrong one. I didn't mean to be a downer, but Mel was on a seems like a course here. Curtis is, and then the next statement is,
I need a new graphic for my channel.
Curtis. And since we're Curtis, I need a new graphic for my channel. I wouldn't have thought about it, but Curtis, it popped into my head. And,
Let's see if I can show you.
Pre-rendering. Oh, he's not strobing. He must be. He's pre-rendered now. He's fully rendered.
See if this shares or not.
Yes, here we go.
Yeah, it was a good lead in.
Canadian Drone Hub.
Why is it not doing it?
It's trying to rotate.
There we go.
Live from Studio B.
So Paul Murray started doing his own show thing, and he calls it Studio B.
Yeah.
Live from Studio B. It's the Paul Murray Show or something along those lines. I don't know yet. I just started kind of playing around with this yesterday.
Very cool.
Nice.
So
That's
what
how
did you
they
build
used to
this
start off Saturday Night Live?
What did
Do
you
what?
build this in?
That's how they used to start off Saturday Night Live in the early 70s.
I went for kind of a news feel.
Okay, but what did you build this in? Is this Cinema or is this Element?
This is Cinema 4D imported using Cineware into After Effects, and then I'm using the lights and stuff in After Effects to create all the everything around here. But it was built in Cinema 4D and then imported into After Effects.
Okay.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because I was looking at Element 3D. It's like $199 package. But then I'm like, yeah, but because the thing about it is if you're going to spend the money, you might as well get the good software. And so I'm like still kind of in limbo as far as that's concerned.
Element 3D is really cool, but you don't get the distance. The XYZ space that you're allowed to work in is really limited, and you have to spend most of your time faking it out by using scaling. So in other words, if I wanted to make that text look way far away, I couldn't push it back in Z space enough. I would have to scale it down and then create keyframes to scale it up.
Oh! I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you have to kind of cheat
this, make it bigger and bigger as it comes forward.
Right, exactly. Like if I wanted to do an X-wing flying around a planet, I'd have to scale it down, and then as it makes the curve, scale it up. And then if you've ever scaled something up while it's doing what we call a Bezier curve, the Bezier curve itself changes. So then you're constantly having to adjust, and it becomes a little bit of a nightmare. It's great software. I love it. I use it. If I just have a lot of the corporate things I do where they just want the letters just to rotate in place, they don't want a big camera move or anything like that, or, a whole bunch of stuff. It's really easy to do that, but excuse me.
I get what you're talking about is you're going to have a lot more 3D tracking solutions if you use that software as opposed to using Cinema, to where it's more relatively built into it.
It's really good for somebody who wants to start out in 3D, but everybody that I've ever worked with over time and that has used it, that's the thing that they so Paul,
for like a week or so.
I'll tell you about it here in just a second. So yeah, it's good to start out with if you're wanting to do really good quality 3D text or a 3D object or something like that in After Effects. It's really, really good. But what happens is the first time you use it, everybody wants to do Star Wars or something like that, and they find out your Z depth and your Y depth and your X depth is not quite there, and you end up having to cheat the system all the time. And when it's okay if you're just starting far away and coming to the camera, but that's kind of boring. You can do that with regular text and with drop shadows. You can make it look like 3D with just regular text. You don't need. So when you try to put curves and stuff in it and camera moves where you're moving in a curve type thing, then that's where it becomes an issue.
Is there such a thing? I only know the two words, and I've seen a video on it. Can you do that with motion tracking?
So motion tracking, what motion tracking does is, and this is how I kind of got into 3D actually. I'm a member of so Adobe After Effects is made here in Seattle. I'm a member of a crew it's kind of like an advisory board. And several years ago, in fact, it was 2012, we were having a conversation about doing a 3D city. And the problem is when you do keyframes, I'm sure everybody's familiar with keyframes, where you move something here and that's a keyframe, move it here, it's a keyframe, and then you put it in the timeline and it moves to those keyframes. It's a very static thing. And then I had read about DJI drones online and saw a couple of videos, and I said, hey, why don't I get this drone? We'll just fly it right here in the parking lot. We'll track that footage and get our camera move, and then import that tracked footage into the 3D scene. So every little jerk the drone made, because it was the Phantom 1, it was not a smooth drone,
Right.
but we got a more realistic helicopter shot flying through a 3D city because we were able to camera track it. Another thing that you see a lot of camera tracking is a guy will film, for instance, our intro in the our old show. There we would put our names up on billboards, and the camera would pan across the skyscraper with the billboards up there, and you'd see our I guess I could find it and show you guys real quick, but you'd see our faces and our names on there. That's where you film the city, and then you camera track it and create a solid and put it in that spot, and that camera tracks it and says, okay, this is the spot, and it literally sticks to that spot. Have you guys ever seen our old intro?
Mm-hmm.
For drone TV?
Yeah, well, let me see if I can find it real quick.
Bill, what were you going to use it for? Can I ask?
And yes, Mel, yes, Paul is doing a show. He's kind of playing around with it.
What was I going to use what for?
That Element 3D?
Because I'm really interested in 3D type like lettering and stuff like that. Because I like playing around with graphics. I'm kind of like roughly 5 years behind Curtis as far as my fixation is on that kind of thing. So I'm just starting to get into it. But Frank, Curtis and I have talked about some of your stuff, and I don't understand your software fully enough to understand what you do with it and everything. So maybe sometime you and him could get together, and because I don't know exactly what your software does. I mean, I know it looks cool, and I've tried to explain it to him about, like, I think it adds textures and stuff, but I don't want to do it, explain it the wrong way, because I know I don't understand it well enough. And then I saw also where was it? Somebody's spark dropped in the water, but their battery's now bloated, and hopefully the drone will still fly.
Let me see if I can share this.
Oh, he uses hip film too.
Yes, Frank does. Frank uses a bunch of different softwares.
So you guys see this?
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, the little 3D drones flying around, and then I tracked our faces onto the buildings as they move around. That's camera tracking.
So the drone is a picture in a picture then.
The drone is that's a 3D object that I've camera tracked this camera that's moving around, and it now has 3D space information, and then I put that 3D object in that space. Let me back it up here again.
And so like the actual pictures are just still images that he is assigned to sit in the middle of that tracked point that he's got on that area.
Right.
Like,
see, the little drone is 3D, but the rest of the stuff is stuck to the building.
Yeah, so it's just like kind of taped onto it like a 3D environment. You would basically
exactly.
That's a lot of work for an 8-second intro.
Yeah, it is. People don't realize that.
Not really. I probably did that in about a couple hours.
Yeah, but see, still a couple of hours for like 16 seconds.
Yeah, and
I've been doing it since 2012. So yeah.
There's a big difference with somebody who's been doing it as long as you have versus
2011, 2012 was kind of when I started. Yes.
Yeah.
And I backed into drones because of what I was doing with After Effects and Cinema 4D. Right. And then I got addicted to drones as well. It's like, damn it.
You've got a drone cinema addiction problem, sir.
Yes, I do.
Well, it's just like, yeah, I was turned into, like, when I got into drones, and we were talking about this earlier, I hooked up with Dan, Drone Worship, and that's, like I said, probably been 4.5 years ago. Yeah. Okay, and so then we started hanging on Facebook and stuff like that, and then I kind of ran into Billy Kyle, and that was back when, like, Billy had like maybe like 12,000 subscribers. Okay, so we got talking back and forth, and he's, messaging, and we're talking, and then he's like, okay, well, contact me this way. And so one thing led to another. And so, of course, at that point in time, I literally turned into the ultimate DJI fanboy. And of course, Dan's going to give me a hard time about that, because at that point in time, Dan was all solo and very anti-DJI. And he would always rib me about it. And of course, I had to have, like everybody else, I had to have everything new from DJI every second. And I still have products that I don't fully understand how to use. So that's part of why, through this next season of drone therapy, I'm actually going to learn how to use my DJ Osmo Action and my DJ Osmo Pocket. And so I get everybody involved as much as I can, so that I can actually learn how to do these things, hopefully. So let's see.
I dropped a link to my playlist if you guys are interested in that 3D stuff. A whole bunch of stuff I've made.
I would drop DJI in a minute if there was equal stuff out there.
Well, that's why I was saying I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to remember his web address. Don't beat me, Frank, for forgetting. It's like CGI. Something, and I'm trying to remember.
With Autel's their closest competitor, right? With the Evos.
I'm gonna show me. They're gonna have to show me how that's gonna look, because they're using a 0.8 micron sensor, a pixel sensor size, and that's gonna be ridiculous. I got to see how that actually looks.
I'm gonna find out. Curtis, did you hear I pre-ordered?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hanging on for I'm fixing to sell my my Phantom 4 Pro, and I want to get that Cinewhoop.
Oh yes, dude, those are neat.
Yeah, I got a lot of ideas for that.
Right. And another cool thing is Curtis here in about 3 weeks could fly a Hubsan Zeno if he wants to. He could fly a Mavic Mini if he wants to. And he could fly a Skydio 2 if he wants to.
I just need to hook up with Bill, right?
Well, the thing that's funny is the Zeno is actually in Kent.
Oh,
yeah, it's down there with my boys. So.
By the way, Mel, I saw somewhere earlier we were talking, and you said you needed a new intro. Give me a holler, man.
Here we go. Thank you, Courtney. Here we go. There we go. Copy.
So, what have we not covered tonight?
I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna post. This is everybody was asking about Frank's stuff. So
the coronavirus.
Shutting down all the factories. We have talked about how the FAA doesn't truly understand what they're doing, and hopefully they will change their minds.
I think they understand. They're just looking at dollars.
How they won't extend the comment period. So if they're really wanting our input and our help, what would it hurt to extend the comment period? That's why I don't think they really care about what we're saying. And they think they've done figured it out, and we're idiots and we don't know what we're talking about. We don't have any input. So, that just seems odd to me that, the world's largest drone manufacturer, they take what they said with a grain of salt. Then 2 days later, after they say that, they ground their entire fleet. Then after the FPV Freedom Coalition says, can we have an extension to comment a little longer? They go, no. They don't even give a written no.
Steve, I think you have Mel's contact, right?
They also said that to DJI too, didn't they?
Yeah, they just shut them down. And it's just like, that's what scares me. It's like you were pointing out, Jim, they don't know what they're doing. And we've pointed out to them that they don't know what they're doing, but they don't care that they don't know what they're doing. That's what scares me. They've just seen this huge money grab from the people like you're talking about that are running Lance, and they're saying, oh, we're going to pump all this money into you because we're going to make all those hobbyists, they're going to crave to fly, and they're going to pay us whatever we want to fly. And they don't realize that we're all just going to be like,
yeah, no. The answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm worried about is, are they going to, who's going to spend the money to make a system to ground us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me interrupt for just a second. Steve, do you have Mel's address? You know how to get hold of Mel?
Yeah.
He put it in the chat.
Can you forward my email to him?
Yeah.
Curtis,
Thanks.
he put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay.
Here you go, Curtis. This is what Frank's code does.
I code a custom version of Blender 2.83 with a tweaked cycles render engine. It renders way faster than official Blender cycles. I can also export entire 3D scene to hit film.
That's cool because I like Blender.
Blender is awesome. It's a learning curve. And this is the Apple versus Windows debate for me. I just happen to have started on Cinema 4D. So that's why I'm having a hard time with Blender. But I love that Blender's out there. It's a free app and anybody can do 3D stuff.
Well, that's what I was talking about because I didn't understand the explanation. So that's why I'm glad that he posted that. So now you have a better understanding of what he has built or what he has built upon.
He's built a faster render engine, which is pretty awesome.
I had to make a VM inside my PC in order to do that.
Ooh.
Mel, but while I'm thinking about this, Mel, I think we're friends on Facebook. Just send me a Facebook message. It's a lot easier.
400agl.net at Gmail.
Yeah.
So
I never check email.
here was the one thing. So you still have to download Beta Flight in order to figure out what your issue with Free Sky is. So what do you think it is? It's your PIDs are off, or let me guess, you got the wrong UART.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
So I would like somebody to walk me through it.
Project Blue Falcon.
That was the total extent of my FPV there. So I threw out those things to kind of make it look like I knew what I was talking about. I know that UARTs are a problem, and I know what PIDs are. So it seems like I might understand.
I can tell you that I've been on what is that? God, I can't even think of it. The simulator. I've put massive amount of hours on that thing. I can fly through stuff like crazy, and that's really what I want FPV for. Is I want to put my Mavic 2 Pro up in the air, get an overview of where I'm at. Then I want to fly through stuff at a fast pace, low to the ground, and then I want to throw the sub in the water, and then I want to put it all together in one video.
Yes.
Just because I'm an overachiever, and I want to start it and end it with 3D graphics.
And Curtis is going to get in touch with you, Mel. Thank you for coming in. Get some rest. Have a good day. Super Bowl tomorrow. Oh, that's something we haven't done. Predictions. Let's go ahead and do it. Predictions.
Just real quick, Bill. Mel, I emailed Curtis's email address to you.
All right. So
he got it. He got it.
Since you've got the screen, what's your Super Bowl pick for tomorrow, or do you care?
Commercials. I didn't watch a single game all year long.
All right, cool. Okay, Tommy Polo. Do you care, and do you have a pick?
What's tomorrow?
Super Bowl. We've got two commercials, and I will admit I'm a commercial guy myself. I really don't care. And Curtis.
I don't care.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks are not.
All right, we're all commercials.
Seahawks are not playing.
More commercials and no football game. And Jim.
Kansas City and then commercials.
All right. See, I have to admit, I think Mahomes is a good kid. I think he is beneficial for the sport, and I think he's going to show us something in the future that we ain't seen in a quarterback before. So I think he's kind of like the less rundown version of Russell Wilson. So, and I think he's really going to blossom in this league. And I thought it was I guess when I really respected the kid was when there was a little boy that came up and had a Mahomes hairdo. And he was like, "Oh, bro, I love the dude, man." And he was like touching his hair and stuff. And they were just goofing off like kids. And I thought that was really cool that he was still enjoying the game enough to act like a kid, and I really like that. So, yes, I myself will pull for Kansas City simply because Richard Sherman went back to San Francisco.
RD Drone Reviews, you'll understand this when I tell you that I have been suffering since 1969 as a New York Jets fan. Joe Namath and Super Bowl III was my last hurrah.
And so you still have the mink coat in the closet.
That was it.
Whip it out.
Although we have a new quarterback like Mahomes, but we don't have any offensive line to keep him alive. So
nobody's made a name for themselves quite like Joe Namath did, though.
Yeah.
It's like
back when the Rams used to be here in Los Angeles and California. Yep. I kind of gave up when Georgia decided to take him to St. Louis, and I was just like, I kind of gave up. But what the breaking point for me was, I went through electrical apprenticeship, electrician by trade. I'm an electrical contractor, but we had classes on Monday and Wednesday nights. Well, Monday Night Football, we could never watch it. Well, 4 years of being in school, first game's on, a bunch of us from school got together. We go to the bar. We're all just hyped up. This is it. We're finally going to be there. They went on strike the day before that game was going to go on that year.
Oh, the 87
Now, wait a second. For 4 years, I haven't watched it, and you're sniveling because you want your starting salary to be at $1 million. I go. So we would just go for those multiple days, multiple weeks they kept on strike. We would just go over there and just go to the bar and have drinks and eat.
Yeah. I tell you what, it really turned me off, and I really did stop watching for a time when they started kneeling during the national anthem. Who was that idiot from San Francisco?
Yeah, that's
I don't buy into that one at all either, man.
I mean, we're sitting here paying you millions of dollars as idiot fans, and you're not going to stand for the country. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to know that. Just play the game.
With that, because none of us could have gone to our work while we were on the clock,
right?
And pulled something like that,
right? What did Tommy just say? Tommy, what'd you just say?
We don't care. Just play the game.
Just play the game.
We don't care what your views are on anything. Just play the game.
The whole point. Here's my thing: is they were all raising Cain and trying to say this. I'm like, okay, then why didn't I see you on the line Monday morning, raising Cain? With the other people marching down the street. The only time I was seeing you was on Sunday when you were getting paid. And the rest of us would pull that. We would be in the unemployment line and maybe not even getting paid. So I'm like, if you want to do it on your time and show me that it's really part of your cause, then I got you back. I got you back all day. But don't do it when I can't do it at my job either. That's not the place to be talking about it. I'm like, you got paid to make us watch football and sell beer and chips on Sunday. Oh, and pizza too on Sunday. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do.
Let's go back to drones.
Stuff into it, and you're not doing your job anymore. So yeah, I totally. That's the one thing that we can all agree on. That was ridiculous.
It is infuriating. Yeah.
I got one more thing to share for you guys. I think you guys will probably get a kick out of this. It'll show you how long I've been doing this. So the original DJI Phantom came out in December of 2013. Let me go over here and share my screen. You guys will get a kick out of this, I think. How is it? Why is it not letting me share? Oh, I got to click that. Okay. June 2013. This was the first time I felt comfortable letting this thing get more than 50 feet away from me. And you were talking about camera tracking. This is camera tracked into the footage. Hang on. Here we go.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I do like, that is nice.
What?
Frank, you still watching? That's sharp.
Look at how shaky that footage is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like struggling. Yeah.
There's no, it was a GoPro with 2 carbon fiber plates with little rubber balls between them. And otherwise it just shook the hell out of the thing when it would go up in the air. Again, this is 2013, one of the original Phantoms that came out. I got mine in January. They came out in December. And we were hearing about flyaways all the time. And yeah, I know I'm going to get grief for flying over people here. So be it. This was 2013. Didn't know any better.
Right.
But yeah, trying to do something with this thing with no monitor and just putting it up in the air and pointing the drone in hopefully the right direction was basically all you could do.
Yeah.
Although we did have one kind of rule back then that still holds true today, and that was the 400-foot rule, and it was enforced by the various Facebook groups at the time. And I did a little graphic. I'm going to fast forward here in just a little bit. Let me see if I can find this.
There was no return to home either, right?
No, there was no return to home either.
Right.
There was no waypoints. There was no orbit. This is what I learned to fly with. There was attitude mode. There was manual mode. And manual mode was very, very similar to FPV flying, but you had no goggles. So that was insane. And then you had GPS, and most everybody flew in GPS, but the GPS would kind of jerk you around like this. This is a tree in my front yard. But I posted this, and then I did a little bit of graphic here at the end, and I had a bunch of people flip out on me, and I thought, wow, I must be good.
Why? Like I flip out.
You'll see here in just a second.
Okay.
Night, Ryan. I don't want to cover up Jim's face because I noticed when I was putting up comments,
So this is all CG now.
Is it? Oh. I see what you're saying.
Hello, Thomas.
Thomas O'Sullivan. Thomas.
Hey. See, now y'all understand why I was making the comment earlier about how Tommy was Curtis's wingman.
Yeah. You made that video back in
2013, yes.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing 3D graphics for a long, long time, and I got so much grief about flying into the clouds, and I go, I'm not flying into the clouds. But thank you.
Yeah.
Well done.
But so see, that's part of why it would be cool if you could get hooked up with Frank and them, Curtis, because Curtis has shared something else with me that I'm sure if he showed it, Frank would probably wet himself because he would be so
Wait a second here. What's going on?
I don't know if I want to go there, man.
Yeah, I mean, but
I think everybody knows where the
something
Pornhub
so
is.
incredibly futuristic that it would almost, I don't know, throw you backwards. So I know he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I swear to God.
I thought his water treatment plant was a drone.
Oh yeah, the one on the Above and Beyond Drones thing. Yeah, and that's that's actually a Photoshop technique of you're using levels to crush all the blacks and whites, and then you add glows to what's left, and then overlay that over the image. And now you got this what looks like a UFO.
Curtis.
Huh.
He said he's
Yes.
going to hit the bed, but he sent you some. I think he wants you to do some graphic work for him.
Oh come on, Mel, you could stay up all night. It's Saturday night, man. I'm 58. Come on. I have a question for the panel and for everybody else in here too that I'd kind of like to throw out there. And before I give the question, I want to preface that I don't want it to be the answer to be about DJI or Autel or anything like that. Or my question is, having seen where we've come from 2013 with drones to where we are now, what would you like to see? And I don't say I want to see DJI do this. What would you like to see in a drone that comes out in the future? Or have we, or do we have everything that we need right now?
No, I mean, it would be nice to have a full frame camera or the equivalent. I mean, the Micro Four Thirds do an excellent job on the 4K, but I would like to say, what more can you ask than a full frame?
I would like to see an AI personal assistant with the capabilities of like what Jim's talking about, something that what we see in the movies and we joke about, like a little device that hovers over here, keeps you checking out everything, watching your 6 and all this, can do all the capabilities of, camera, infrared, yada, yada, yada. Plus it can keep up with your personal daily needs like ordering milk. And it just kind of sticks
an
with
FPV.
you, and it's no bigger than
the fluidity.
I want that in FPV.
Well,
I want the goggles on with this.
So Scott is working on that.
Yes, and I want it.
He is working on that.
I talked to him at CES. He was quite pissed at some people who reviewed it, who shall remain nameless.
He was.
Well, see, now here's something else. I don't know if any of you all saw the show. I had a gentleman by the name of Kyle Warner on the show who was testing for Skydio. He came on well before anyone was starting to get their Skydios, and he was explaining to us, and it's even Brian from True Drone Reviews was talking about how open and how frank he was about the flaws in the drone. And now all the bigger channels that have come out are having these issues that have already been pointed out. Drones going in the water, drones crashing into lines. But it was stuff that they hadn't checked into before they got the drone. They did no research.
Right.
They're trying to say bad things about the drone. And I'm like, but we asked the guy who had the drone what the shortcomings were. He said, right now, the AI for the optical avoidance is still 5 or 6 firmwares away. And he said that the controller still needed about 3 or 4 more firmware updates. And he was very clear about that. And now you hear all these big channels coming, oh, it's a piece of trash. They still, and this is an American-built drone from the ground up that's got new firmware, new software, and everything. It's not something that came from DJI or something like this. It's something that they've put together. So they're going to have the trial and error just like the same Phantom, from DJI. Curtis, what?
So to answer the question that I proposed, what I would like to see, and Indy Kirk also said the thing, future drone needs lenses, cinematic drones needs flight capabilities fast like FPV drones. I would like to see a much better camera than the GoPro. And I know the GoPro is awesome, but it still does not match up to the camera drones that we're used to. I would like to see the camera drones that we have integrated into FPV drones, and that would be exciting for me. That's what I would like to see next.
And I think you're matching up. The two match up with what I say. I just want a full frame DSLR lens, which he's saying there too. He just wants to be able to switch his lenses out. It's a meeting of both worlds, and wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that's what I think the next step should be. Would be a coming together of technology so that we can. Because I don't want to do. I want to do slow shots. I want to do nice slow up in the air orbits, but I want to get down and dive amongst the crane or whatever it is I'm orbiting as well. I want to give you those intimate shots, but I don't want to have to compromise on, well, the camera is not quite as good as the camera drone on the camera drones versus the FPV drones. That's where I would like to see the future technology improve.
The more sensors, FPV guys won't know this, but camera drone guys will know this. The more sensors they add to these damn drones, the less fluid the thing is in the air.
Yep.
In other words, the original Inspire 1 didn't have any sensors. It only had the bottom sensor to tell it how high it was. That thing could slide through the air like it was in attitude mode all day long. No interruptions. But now you get something like a Mavic 2 Pro. It'll slow down when it sees something, that could be 30 meters away. And it'll slow down and all. They're just not as, am I describing it right? They're not as free flying as they used to be. Agile, yeah.
I turn all those sensors off. For me, I'd just as soon not have the sensors, but I understand
Sometimes
why they
you
have
have
them.
to.
I understand why they have them. I haven't run into a situation where I need them. And in a situation where I would need them, I want to use a FPV style drone. It's kind of like the cameraman who's really a professional cameraman. He doesn't have one camera.
Right.
It's the right tool for the right job. The mechanic doesn't show up with one wrench. He's got, I didn't mean Tommy sitting there. I'm going, Tommy knows what I'm talking about. You don't just show up with one wrench. You got to have an assortment of tools to be able to do the job. And that's the same thing with drones. I think you need several different kinds of drones to be able to do the job that you want to do. It shouldn't be one drone does everything. But I would like to see that technology kind of come together so that we're able to integrate that footage. We're not having to boost one up more to make it match up or reduce one down to make it match up the other way. Yeah. That's what I would like to see in the future. Steve, I haven't heard from you.
Well, I know one of them, because one of the things I'm going to be cutting the bullet on this next week is I'm going to buy the Phantom 4 V2, and I've wanted it because of the mechanical shutter on board. Because I have some companies that want me to do some work for them for mapping and progress shooting for construction job sites, and I've always wanted one. I would like to see, like the infamous photo that came out that the one only company it was built for, that I'm using them as a name, but I don't care. Any company doing it.
Interchangeable.
Having replaceable lenses that you can use for a zoom lens that could go on there, or a wide angle lens, a super wide angle lens, or more of a telephoto lens, and be able to have the agility like Jim was talking about, to be able to use it cinematically, but also using it for professionally if you need be, and having the agility is where I think you're going more towards, Curtis.
Yeah.
Being able to move along and be able to more of an FPV flight.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could do something like the old cinema style cameras that you could just rotate from like the wide angle to the telephoto, and I'll have it on?
Oh yeah.
That's
too
much weight for a gimbal, though. That's way
yeah, that would be too heavy.
So what about flight time and sensors and all that stuff? Is that really a concern for you guys at this point in time, knowing the drones that you have? I mean, I
got a half hour on the M210 with a 900 gram camera on there. I'm still getting a half hour. So where do you really need to go? How long do you want to fly?
Because I still see this as a selling feature of other companies. They go, well, you can fly this long. And I'm thinking, I'm starting to come home more often. I'm coming home at 40% battery and 50% battery. I'm like, I've got my shot. What else do I want to do? I mean, there were a couple times today where I did hang out because I was in the air and saw something coming. And I said, oh, I want to hang out for this. But that's so rare. Usually I go out there and I have a plan before I go up in the air. Even the location that I'm going to, I know what I would like to capture. I get up in the air with one battery, kind of research and fly around and look for any obstacles and how far down I can go, where I can position myself, what looks good, where the sun is and all that. And then on the second battery, I go get my shot and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think the selling factor for us as consumers is really about more airtime or
Being
more,
up in the sky for an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's the issue. I would like to see companies work on a better camera system for the entire plethora of drones that are out there, that we can integrate these a lot easier. Yeah, I can do it. It's a lot of work, but somebody else can't. So let's make it easier for everybody else to be able to do this.
Mhm.
As soon as you throw GoPro footage together with Inspire 2 footage, you can tell the difference. Forget the fact that the guy's flying fast. You can tell there's a difference in the quality of it. So let's start working on getting those cameras similar. I'm not bringing one down, but let's bring them all up to the same similar specs so that we can integrate these better.
And this is where DJI cheated us out on the Mavic 2 Pro. If you weren't going to come out with the true sensor fully used, why didn't you just say it? Instead of us all having to find out that you're line skipping and binning and all this other crap.
Just hears Tommy look like he's getting sleepy. Tommy's like looking over, and Tommy's not been talking for a while. He's like, his wife's like, "Are you coming?"
Tommy's quiet. Tommy's quiet now. Tommy's always come in with a zinger right after everybody's tired and doesn't say anything. This happened on our show all the time. Tommy would come in with the perfect line every time, and it was everybody's talking. We'd shut up, and Tommy would say something. We're all like, "Oh, geez, God."
break you all up.
Yeah. It was always the perfect line.
Kind of the reason that I kind of jumped in like this. We've been on kind of almost going on 2 hours and 41 minutes, and
I've only been here for an hour, so I'm good. Let's keep going.
Make brownies, guys, and I want to at least get one or two before they're gone.
Don't tell Paul Murray.
Go get them.
And they're turtle brownies, no less.
Oh, I like them.
Go get them and bring them over.
That's with the caramel in them, right?
Get hold of some turtle brownies.
You got to share with the class, brother.
I wanted to. Hey, the door's open. Just drive on up. Now, the thing about it is text me right before you get here, and I'll make sure not to eat the last bite.
They'll just throw one out the door.
It's a three.
Standing there at the garage going,
"Oh, Curtis, I thought you was going to get here really quickly."
It's a 3-hour drive. I'm not driving 3 hours for brownies.
I tried to save one for you.
I'm very grateful for everybody. This special edition came off better than I thought it was going to. I'm very grateful for having everyone on tonight. We will have to do this again in the future. It was quite fun and unique to have a different crew. I'll be back with my normal guys this week. I don't know exactly what we're going to do. I think we'll just kind of do something random.
You need to fire them and just do a Saturday show. This is more fun.
Yeah, it is very interesting. We'll have to do some special editions. Actually, Curtis and I were talking about that we needed to kind of do a late night style drone show. And I had the idea of how comical it would be to do something kind of like in the old style of, like, you remember Weekend Update with Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
Come on, I can be like, "Hello, I'm Dead Thomas, and you're not. The FAA today announced that everything in the sky is a drone." Okay.
Well, you got to have Jim on, because Jim is just a plethora of information. I don't know if you guys are in his Facebook group or not, but Jim, the amount of research he does and stuff that he posts in that group is just amazing. My hat is off to you. My hat is off to you. You do, and I'm bald. I know. I don't really care, but
who cares?
Well,
I do.
I think you care about your hair.
But so, make sure to check out Jim's Facebook group, Above and Beyond Drones, on Facebook. And so what I'm going to do now is, since I've already said thank you to everybody, I'm going to pass it around the room, let everyone say their good evenings. And I will go first to Mr. Tommy Polo, and he can pass it to someone, and I'll click on them next. Tommy.
Oh, wow. Well, good evening and good night to everyone in the chat. Thanks for participating. Curtis, great to see you again. Steve,
always good to see you, brother.
Always. Jim, Above and Beyond, it's great to meet you too. And as always, Bill, thank you very much. And this was a lot of fun. Had a great time. Look forward to doing it again.
And passing to.
Let's pass it to who was sitting right next to me in the thing. There was Steve.
Steve.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you inviting me on tonight. And glad my friends ended up coming down with the
because we've been trying for like a year now to be streaming together.
And great to meet Tommy and Curtis. I've seen our chat a lot of times. Always good to see you. And Jim, my friend, always in touch with him. And thank you everybody in chat for posting in. Great conversation tonight in chat, and a lot of good information being brought out. And to a good friend of ours, Mr. Thomas O'Sullivan. Great to see you. Good morning to you. And pass it on to Jim Boyd.
Hey, Bill, I want to thank you for letting me join you guys tonight. And I got to say, I love when we have these panels and you get to learn something. We talked a little bit about Blender and what Curtis is doing over there. I like learning from everybody else. I mean, I don't profess to know everything, and I enjoy learning something from you guys. So thank you, and I'll pass it to Curtis.
I don't give a damn. No, I'm sorry. No, so first of all, Bill, I apologize for the confusion earlier in the day. I gotta go fly, man. I have to go fly. It's been 20 weeks since the rain has just been killing us up here. But yeah, no, there were some great conversations tonight. The panel is just excellent. I would love to be on the show again with the exact same folks that are here. You guys are a plethora of knowledge and fun to talk to. The folks that were in the chat, they provided a lot of additional information and subject matter. I think it's a great thing to do. I wish I could do it more often, but I work through the week and it's insane hours that I work. So if you guys want to do something on the weekends, hit me up. I will definitely jump in.
I think that very much too. This is an eclectic group, and like you said, there is a plethora of useful knowledge in this group. And I would very well be open to putting this group together again, maybe for a weekend here and there, and seeing how it goes, and we'll get something running on that. And I am very grateful for everyone to be here, and I would like to invite everyone to return this Wednesday for drone therapy as we return to our regular day. But stay tuned. You never know when there's going to be another drone therapy special edition. Live long and prosper.